All right, I'm done. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to... Could you imagine if I just set up the stream? Just let everybody sit here on the queue. I'll just chill. I'll relax and wait until it actually goes through. What's up, everybody? As has become abundantly clear throughout the day, I think to everybody, 318 is not going too great so far. Hold on a second. I can't hear myself. That throws me off. 318 is it's doing gosh, I don't know, a 313, a 3.3, 3.3.5. I feel like we've had this before. Maybe not to this extent. Definitely not to this extent most of the time, but it's not having a good time today. So I figured we give it like 1 or 2 tries, because I've already tried a couple times. And if it doesn't work, we got a few other things to go over. Let me introduce you. So, first I have to find the right tab. We've got the Scorpius Centaurus we can look at, see what that's all about. I had the trailer for that thing. Where is it? Is this it? No. Is this it? So we got trailers and release for this. So I definitely want to go over the Q&A, because I know people are very excited about that. Go over the Drake Vulture. That's the new ship coming in with 318 for salvaging. Obviously, you want to take a look at the 318 trailer. I haven't seen any of this stuff yet, so I'm excited to watch it first with you guys. I definitely want to go over engineering. It was on ISC or Journey to 4.0, J4O, whatever you call it. It was up this week as like the replacement to ISC, and it was very, very good. Man, I need to fix my lighting. So I definitely want to go over that with you guys and talk a little bit about that. That, not that, none of that. Here we go. Star Citizen Live. Honestly, these are gone. If we have time, Star Citizen Live as well. So I don't have high hopes that we're going to get in here. 6,000 in the queue, and even when you usually get to the end, it just doesn't matter, supposedly. I have not really been paying much attention today. It has been a day and a half for us. So if I do happen to just kind of suddenly end the stream, rest assured, it's not because of the stream. We've been going through a lot right now. Just a forewarning thingy. Can we restart this? Have that be a 0. There we go. So yeah, just a little warning in case I freak out, you know, fall into the floor, whatever. But how y'all doing today? Welcome to the day. Today is the day. Good to see you. Najinx, Danny, Zeke. How's it going? Wiggy. DHL Computers. God, I love when DHL is able to make it to chat. Go Wrecked. You're already on your 10th try. I think I've tried like 3 or 4 times. At this point, though, I'm so, like, I don't even know what I'm going to play. I've got my monthly report video that I could not get out this week. I've got a new player's guide that I haven't been able to really do as much on as I wanted to. I've been trying to do stuff with the org that is just so much, so I'm not really minding that it's not letting me in, I guess. I've been playing the PTU, though, so I don't think that this is cool. This is not a good thing. Don't get me wrong. Playing the PTU definitely makes me less excited to play live, but the fact that this is live and a lot of people have been waiting for it and it's finally coming out like this is a bummer, to say the least. What are my thoughts on cherry tomatoes? They're not bad. I am, however, allergic to all tomatoes. So cherry tomatoes kind of fit into that category of all tomatoes, and generally I don't eat them because of that. Oh my gosh, it actually sees my light. You guys know how often Elgato just doesn't know I have a light connected to my computer? There we go. Now the lighting's better. I look super short in this thing. In fact, why don't we do this? There we go. All right. I'm so behind on chat. Give me a cool minute. Great trailers. Love a good trailer. Prefer a good trailer over a good patch. You tried logging in 8 times and got the 19,000 error. Deleted the PTU folder, did the character repair, deleted the user folder, the EAC folder. You locked in on the 9th try. I don't know if it's worth that for me. That's a lot. Where are we? 5,000. All right, real quick. Let's just restart that because I don't trust it. You need to 2-step authentication. Like, you got to restart it. What do I think will be the most reliably profitable end game profession in 318? I don't know. I don't even know what they're paying us anymore. They could be paying us great money for delivering packages for all I know. They're not, but they could be. I'm guessing it'll probably still be bounty hunting. That seems to be what pays really, really well over time. But it depends on what you're good at, right? Oh, Balur. I appreciate your words. They are nice words. I like those words. I like you. Thank you. Hello there, that's a nice guy. What's a nice guy like you doing in a queue like this? Hey! You come to this queue often, citizen? You like spending time in f***ing queues? Yeah, no, I'm... You know, I'm a nice guy, but I get into some bad queues every once in a while. Especially those ones at Disneyland. You've only updated, you haven't tried getting in yet. It's good for your health. Your anti-cheat got stuck. You didn't die even via task manager. Had to reboot. Whoa. Yeah, maybe I should do the whole follow Twidget's example and start just like deleting things. Oh, what's going on over here? All right. Ah, man, deleting the PTU just sounds like not fun though. Let's see what it all is. What do we got here? PTU is a 85 gigabyte folder. I don't want to download that again on this internet. Yeah, I don't know. Don't want to drag. You don't want to brag, but first try. Drag me in, Monkey Nuggets. You like the way cherry tomatoes pop when you eat them? Okay, hey. Hey, come on. Can't talk about that. Nah. How would you feel if I talked about humans like that? Or I guess I am a human, so. Be different. Every patch launch is iffy for Star Citizen. They'll get it right. This one definitely hurts a little bit more. What's up, Onion Party? Thank you for the raid. Bringing in all yo people. Let me give you a little shout out. Thank you, my friend. I hope you're having a good time playing some Star Citizen. My friend, that sounds kind of impossible. Were you actually able to get in game? What do you think of the Vulture trailer with the preview of expanded Salvage? I haven't seen the Vulture trailer. Spoilers! Come on. I haven't seen it yet. We're about to watch it. We're just waiting to see if I can actually get into the game or not. In fact, I kind of forgot about that. Wait, what happened? Oh, that's right. I backed out. Let's launch back in and see if I'm still in the queue. You never had the PTU and it didn't work? So you haven't gotten to play 318 yet? Have a lot of people in chat not gotten to play 318 at all? Just skipped the PTU? Huh. Look at that. There we go. I like that light. I don't like it when that thing's off. Servers are running fine if you can get in. Oh. My friend. It's like, yeah, Star Citizen's a great game if you can miss out on the glitches. Night Tiger, good morning. Oh, Punji. Punji with the Twitch notification gang, dude. Dropping a sub in here. Hold on, I can't even... Why is it not letting me read that? Yo, 20 months. 20 months, dude. Very cool. Punji, you able to get in game? How you doing? Only 2 of you got into the game. That is crazy. Uff. It's hurting. It's hurting us right now. Do we get bits? Oh, RCA time. How you doing again? Good to see you. Thank you for the 100 bits. Appreciate you. Morning, you're the micro of gaming. Man, you should do voiceovers for Hollywood. Appreciate you. I am gonna probably show my age and say I don't know who Micro is, but I can always look him up. American TV host. I see. Oh, he did Dirty Jobs. Okay. Cool. I like that. Dirty Jobs is cool. They do good stuff. First try you get in. Oh, major boobage. I salute you. Haven't played 318. Najinx. Emissary Games, how you doing? Belated Toes in the chat. Thank you so much, Punji. I feel better in the heart. Balur, thank you for the bits. Bruh. I appreciate you, man. Give me that bits badge. That's the Twitch way, right? I hear Twitch is doing new things with ads again. Or something. I try to ignore Twitch ad stuff as much as I can, but it's funny to see them like doing things 5 to 6 years after YouTube did those same things and not seem to figure out how to do them a little more effectively. Punji not in game. Playing a no criminal Chrome run in Cyberpunk 2077. Whoa. No Chrome. Okay. I am, gosh. I really want to get to Deathloop. Anybody play that by... It's Arcane, right? I think that's Arcane. I wanted to get through Deathloop so that I could be ready for, gosh, what's their next one called? Redfall, that's it. Yeah, I want to finish Deathloop before Redfall. Anybody gotten into that game? You're over 7,000 every time you get it. At least they've got good demand, I think. Being accused of the game by being entitled. Yeah, it does that. Honestly, they've given this thing a little bit of attitude. Puts us in a queue, calls us entitled. I backed. All right? Software, I backed this game. I deserve to play it. I deserve to play it whenever I want. It's not going to work. You see no ads, you block. Does Twitch even have an option to not get ads? Like if you pay for, you have to pay for like Twitch Boost or something like that? Twitch gnarly. I don't know what it's called, but don't you have to pay for a separate thing besides just having a sub to get no ads? Turbo, is that it? It's kind of like Boost. Have I managed to get character creator? No, I haven't even seen the main menu. I'm fresh. If I was new to this game and I was doing this, I would think I was just completely wrong of how I installed it or something. Because you know there are people out there who aren't on the internet, or okay, they're on the internet. They're not on Spectrum, they're not on the Reddit, they're not on the Twitter, they're not like following the social media, who just heard that there's a new update, went home to download it, and they're just like, what did I do? It is Twitch Turbo. Okay. I wish that Twitch and YouTube would allow you to not get ads on a channel that you're supporting. So like if you're a member on YouTube, I feel like you shouldn't have to pay or shouldn't have to watch ads on that channel. Or if you're like a Twitch subscriber, skip ads. Can't play it. Good game. Award-winning game. Not gonna lie. Best of the cream of the crop. I won't get on tonight. I doubt it. I wanted to give it a go, you know? Let it give it its best. The little launcher that could. Or those coming back from years that don't know what's happening. Certainly frustrating. Yeah. I was going to do a video next week on persistent entity streaming. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm actually going to do it on engineering, to be honest. Because that interests me so much more right now. But I do want to do one on persistent entity streaming whenever the game is running more smoothly. Because I want to be able to get in the game and get example footage and stuff. And clearly, that's not going to happen for a little while. So next week is engineering. Oh, yes. And today is not going to be the game. We're going to watch some stuff. We're going to get caught up on the news. Like I said before, we're going to look into the new ships that have been released with 3.18. We're going to look into the patch itself. We'll do a little quick overview, I guess. How about it? How about we do like a super fast overview of the patch, the features, and maybe what's coming next. And then we're going to talk about engineering gameplay, which I think should be pretty fun. Besides that, though, sit back. It's going to be a chill stream. Maybe I'll give it another go, like halfway through. We'll try and get back into the server again, but I don't think it's going to happen. So only that the devs are working on a fix. Is that the communication we're getting? I imagine, which is a bummer because it's the weekend. Who wants to be going through this on a weekend? 3 hours trying last night, never got on. Feel bad for any content creators trying to go live and not getting in. Content schmontent. Honestly, it's like it's gonna happen or it's not. Everybody's in it together. I don't mind. There's so much stuff about Star Citizen. That's what's the best part. Well, I say this, I've never done content creation for another game before, but the best part, in my opinion, of covering Star Citizen is like you don't have to just go into the game and play it. There's just so much going on that you've got groups who are covering like the languages being made, and you got people who are covering the ships that are coming out and what's the development of the last month and all that kind of stuff. So you still have some fun with it. Dig got in earlier on his stream. I've seen some people streaming the game. That's good. I'm happy for them. They've got a sharper axe than I do. PES is cool, but you don't think it'll shine truly until 4.0 plus? Engineering is super hot point for you, as it's going to set apart the game from any other game like SC. It's definitely going to add a huge, like, a big differentiation in Star Citizen compared to some other games. Can we all take a moment to remember the leakage scene in the engineering video? You won't have to remember it, my friend. We're gonna watch it. Warlock, you got in? Very nice. All right. Let's get started with what else has been released besides 3.18. Or rather, I guess these are the things that are in 3.18. The RSI Scorpius and Taris. You know what? We're not even watching the video yet. Turn the music back on. This is a controversial ship, huh? I'm not huge in ship commentary or talking about whether or not ships are worth what they are, because just like in the features, they're constantly trying to change it and make the game work for whatever they put in anyways. So I don't know how it's going to turn out. This one is a weird one though. It does look like, from what I've seen, little bits of gameplay here and there, it's not very finished. You know, like compared to say something like the Corsair, which has like a lot of really nifty extras built in, like the lights and all that stuff. This one feels kind of like it's missing some things. But let's read what they have to say about it. So, Copilot still can't see EMP charge. Is that a glitch with it? I actually didn't know that. Not even half-baked. Honestly, half-baked cookies are pretty good. From RSI's celebrated Applied Innovations division comes the latest in battlefield dominance, the Scorpius Antares. Redesigned to house a devastating EMP device and quantum jammer, the Antares shuts down enemy combatants, leaving them open to attack or boarding. So it's got the quantum jammer and the EMP generator, but it can't pull anybody out. It just keeps them from jumping in, right? Is what I'm hearing. Honestly, I just don't care about this kind of ship gameplay. I think it's very cool, and I think people are going to be very good at it, but I don't care, generally. Combat in general is not my focus. Ship combat even less so. It's cool, but I'm generally going to be like a gunner or an engineer or something. First thing, get the hell off the starting planet and move to a station. Amen. That's why, like, I still can't tell people to be go on Orison, because even if you're starting on Orison, the first thing you want to do is get off planet and set your spawn. But in order to do that, you have to go to Grimhex. And for new players, I think Grimhex is not the best place to set them up. So it's like, what do you tell people when you're say, hey, as a new player, here's where you should start. Go to Orison. Spend some time on the planet, but then you're going to want to set your spawn at a space station. Just fly all the way to Hurston L1. It's far, and then you're not near a planet. But there are good reasons to start at Orison, I will give you that. Stuck a character in retrieval screen? No, we didn't even make it there. We didn't even get to the main menu. You're able to get in at 3 a.m., dogs? I might give it another go late tonight. We'll have to see. Watching people crash in atmosphere because their engine shut down. What was I reading? Sorry, there's a very loud bang next door. Watching people crash in atmosphere because their engine shut down is lovely, though. That's EMPing people in atmosphere. How often do you get to do that? Like, how effective is the Mantis? I've only ever been attacked by it once, and it really didn't change the battle that much because I wasn't trying to jump away. I was, like, in atmosphere. Watching people crash. I just read that. Crew L1, yeah, that's the closest place to Orison, but then you're jumping all the way across when you go to the planet. Eventually, starting locations are going to have a ton of stuff to do planet side. Eventually. Let's hope that the mentioned Seraphim Station is the long-awaited PO replacement. I don't know. I'm thinking it's either the PO replacement or a station by a jump point, maybe. Not as much prayer music nowadays. Oh, no. Plenty of prayer music nowadays. It's about to be Ramadan. We're going to have all kinds of calls to prayer going on. We're going to have drums in the middle of the night. Oh, yeah, boy. Yeah, we get it. Reset my death counter? No. That thing's permanent. You guys are gonna watch this thing age so terribly throughout the years. Actually, it's probably gonna slow down a lot, huh? Because like as death starts to get more of a thing, I'm probably not gonna want to die too much. Oh, you like some good 3 a.m. drum and bass? I'm gonna send them your way, Sketch. Okay, let's watch the trailer for this. I haven't seen it yet. I mean, I'm seeing like... Dude, why? Why did you even say anything? This dude literally heard you and said, "You know what? I'm gonna." Whoa, I heard him say it wasn't coming. Ah, I'm seeing this trailer looks pretty cool just from these shots. So let's check out what the full thing is. Hold on, hold your horses.
There he is.
Yeah, there he is. He comes through. When the Orion is released, I need your smooth voice on the on the crew, bud. Hey, if you pay me in UEs or Picos, I'll take it. I'll be a part of your crew. In fact, I haven't really made the official announcement, mainly because I feel like the last 5 days have been a whole bunch of zero to hero announcements, and I didn't want to pile on. But I've been thinking about what I want to do with 318, and now that I have a computer that can run the game, and I feel like I can start to actually figure out how to play this game because I suck, I want to do a fresh start on a different account. And I didn't say it was my different account. I don't have an alternate account. It's just an account, okay? And on that account, for my first month of play, I'm not saying I'm gonna play on this account every time I play because we do have work Saturdays, but whenever I'm jumping in for the next month, I will not be able to fly any ships. That's gonna be my 318 challenge. I want to try and see if you can play this game regularly and seriously without ever flying a ship. And we'll see how that goes. I don't know if I'm gonna make it the whole time. I'm really gonna try. But I'm interested in seeing what possibilities there are. I got a new computer. I was able to get a couple upgrades thanks to a lovely supporter. Helped out a ton with a graphics card and a processor, and just it allowed us to make changes that we would have not otherwise been able to. Hitchhike across the galaxy, exactly. And I feel like the more we get into this game and you see some of these things coming out, I'm getting people saying things like, nobody's ever going to want to do this. Everyone's got their own ship. And I'm like, bruh, you know how many people? I am for all of you people out there who want to be crew, who want to be FPS on a drop ship, getting dropped into a space station, hunting things on a planet, being just like a components expert or a mining laser person, I am your advocate. I am there with you. I love flying spaceships. It's very cool, but that's not why I joined this game. And I've never really thought about that being my sort of end game or regular thing anyways. So I will happily try to make at least content proving that that's a thing and that there are people who are interested in that. No, I'm not pressing a freaking EMP button, okay? That's still it's still combat, and I demand more than one finger's worth of activity. Do not take that sexually. Let's watch this and see what the Scorpius is going to offer us. Lovely Antares. What planet is that? Oh, I heard there was a Kraken.
All available pilots to the strip. Julius Foot, you are cleared for takeoff.
Julius flight. Engage burn and flight heading.
Oh my gosh, imagine if you could leave atmosphere that fast. Broken.
All right, here we go.
Hold on, who's fighting who here? This is a ton of UEE. I'm assuming this is UEE. Y'all are wrecked. Oh my god. Hey, can we get sound effect? Hold on, turn this up. Can you guys hear this well? Is this going well for you? Can we get sound effects like that? Like, what does the EMP sound like? I swear I've never heard it. Can I please get a better sound for the EMP at some point? I love that.
I've got a shot. Clear him out.
Thanks for the assist.
Anytime. Anytime.
That sounded like E3 chatter.
Quantum jammers engaged.
Let's finish this.
Yo, so hold up. Okay. So this is a Bengal, a Javelin, and there were like 2 other Idris there, yeah? Against 2 Krakens and Idris. I mean, I guess this is a very good time to have the quantum damper so they can't jump away because, Jesus, they're going to die. Oh my gosh. Like, just the Bengal alone, I feel like, would be a challenge for them. But, you know, the dozen X-Wings is pretty good, too. Watch how the weapons on the ships work. What do you mean? Like in the video, are they working different? What are they doing?
I've got a shot. Clear them out.
They're going pew, 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 pew,
Thanks
pew.
for the assist.
Anytime.
Quantum jammers engaged.
Let's finish this.
Ah, I love the cheesy dialogue. All right, so that one is pretty cool. I still feel like the ship trailers are... I mean, they're ship trailers. I'll give them that. These are like the way that they always pitched these videos. If you didn't get to hear it, was like they're supposed to be literally made. And I guess the problem is they break the fourth wall at the end here by saying, play the game now. But like the idea behind the trailers, at least in the beginning, was that they are trailers made by the game company or by the ship companies in the game as commercials. So you see them playing in like the convention halls and on the TVs and as commercials in fiction. But then this pops up. So I'm guessing they just remove this and say, hey, this is what RSA wants you to think of their ship. And I think they released a Q&A for this, right? Let's go through that. 19,000? Star Citizen 19,000. That's what alpha we're on now. Let's try it again. I'm going to keep loading it in the background. How about that? We all getting this login error then? Yep, Panda Chow. It is the way. You know, log in today. Not like CIG to let us down. I mean, I can't fault him, but I also can't be happy about it. Like, this is clearly a difficult piece of tech. One that I wish that they didn't have to deal with. But I don't know what else to say. It sucks. I wish that they had gotten PES started 6 months earlier so that by now PES would be stable, but they didn't. And I wish that when PES came out it already was stable, but it isn't. And it sucks. I'm not a streamer, Lord Skippy. I'm okay, yeah, I'm a streamer. I don't get entitlement processing though. I process the entitlement. Take it all in, turn it into something valuable. Is that a bug or an actual queue? Yeah, no, that's an actual queue. Well, do we know if it's an actual queue? I don't know. Because the seconds never match up to what's going on. Like, by the time I get to position 0, it's still at like 8 million seconds. So, I don't know if it's an actual queue, but that's what they're telling me. They'll get this fixed. They'll get this fixed. Honestly, okay. I want to play a little hypothetical, yeah? So, a lot of this stuff is kind of R&D-ish. Like, it is, they are building it for the first time for their own tech, not that it is being invented or anything like that, but at some point there is a possibility that they just run into a problem and it doesn't work, right? It happened with iCache, and that's why they had to switch over to the entity graph and do all of the stuff with PES, and it's always possible. So what if at some point they released a certain version of server meshing or something and just realized this is as far as we can push it? It would be an interesting time. That being said, this is definitely not that. I think this is just stuff that they've still got to get figured out at scale. Did I already watch Lasting Legacies? No, we're getting through them. Slowly, we're crawling our way through. Something you're very much looking forward to after the sound overhaul is power loss will mute external ship sounds. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be cool. I still hope they stick with that. Ever open console when with the queue and entitlement processing is happening? I did not. No. I'm too entitled to try and open a console. To be honest, somebody else should be opening it for me, you know? Allegedly, they've done the math to see it can be done. Haven't we done the math on a lot of crazy hypothetical things? Like a lot. We do a lot of math as a species that just never goes anywhere. I know. I did it for 4 years in college. Oh my gosh. I don't even know if I could like reliably do an integral anymore. I really need to start getting back into that stuff. Big oof. Don't math me. Don't drag me into your maths. All right, let's see what kind of questions people were asking. I hope these are good. Are there any advantages over the base Scorpius, such as armor, shields, and maneuverability? Will the Antares have improved speed to chase down targets over the base? And they say, no, it's the same as the Scorpius. But the lack of the turret does make it lighter, so it has marginally higher top speed. And it can more easily be tractor beamed by your Argo SRV. So watch out, Antares owners. You're that much more vulnerable. You could practice math on the Orion. If I could do it over the PA. Just do all of my math grumblings into the microphone. That's going to be the soundtrack to your work hours. Are they working on the 19K errors today? I imagine, yeah. I'm guessing they're doing overtime for this right now. Will they sell it? Will they sell the spirits again on the website? Really want to buy one now that you have money? I don't know. They might sell it again on the website when it releases. Is the Vulture available for sale? Because if the Vulture is available for sale, then the Spirit probably will be when it releases too. Smoking some wannabe hotshots in their lovely new Scorps. To be entirely honest, watching that trailer does make me think that this ship will be more interesting when we have larger battles. I don't know. So like they want the game to have a lot of people in one place, right? That's like the whole point of server meshing. Let's say you have a 20-person battle. That's a pretty decent amount of people, right? 10 versus 10. We don't do that in the game right now unless it's set up. It just doesn't happen. And like, even if you were being generous and saying, okay, we have 2 fighters in that group, you're still talking about your third ship being like, I don't know, a Starlifter maybe? Or like an M2 or an A2 Starlifter? An M2 Starlifter has the one with the... That's the one with the turrets, right? You could have 8 people staying busy on an M2. That's like not many ships. For this thing to be useful like they show in the trailer, you gotta have like 50 people in the battle. 50, 80, 100 people. And I do really hope that this game gets to the point where that is a normal occurrence. It's so hard to imagine right now because the speed at which the development is moving is just so slow. We're so far away from that because server meshing hasn't been a thing and a ton of features aren't, and we're just now getting engineering. So it's kind of hard to imagine that many people in a battle, but I feel like if they can do that, this ship is going to be so much cooler. Because right now you're fighting like 2 people. You come with this ship and one other one, and that's it. Nobody wants to do that. This is like a support ship, right? I don't know. I'm not much of a ship opinionist. I don't follow ship DPS or which ships match into what ships or which ships fit into what ships. But I feel like as a support ship, this is just not going to be that interesting until we have more people to fight at once. Can't wait until battles are going to be like EVE Online. I guess we kind of get into it in Xenothreat. But that's about as big as you get, right? Gonna have Nyx before 4.0 in terms of planet content done. Yo, I would love that. To be honest, imagine if they were able to push 4.0 out far enough without pissing us off enough to leave, and then just drop it with 2 more systems right off the bat. Holy crap. tripling, I guess, maybe not tripling the content. No, probably tripling the content because all the stuff they developed for those systems coming back to Stanton too. That'd be dope. Where are we at on this thing? Oh, we're entitled. Let's go. Considering what they're sharing with engineering with its distinct roles, I believe they are more confident that they can do more players with server meshing now. I hope so. I think their ETA estimate is using the wrong units. It says seconds, but I think it actually milliseconds. Huh. Is that how much you notice the number changing? No, Xenothreat's not aliens attacking us. Xenothreat is a xenophobic gang attacking us. Yeah, the group is called Xenothreat. How far is Nyx from Vanduul space? Hey, 19,000. 19,000. I think it's like 3 jumps away or so. Hold up, we can find it. I'm pretty sure it's either 2 or 3 jumps away from their space. Because no, I'm not thinking of Nyx. I actually have no idea how far Nyx is from Vanduul. Oh, from Vanduul space. No, it's really far. I was thinking from Xion space. Yeah, it's on the other side of the UEE from Vanduul space, I believe. Because let's go 2D real quick. Because this is the closest Vanduul systems, right? So you got Virgil here. Set up a couple jumps. You're gonna go Virgil. Oh, it's 1 jump away. I'm totally wrong. I thought Nyx was on the other side of Stanton from Vanduul space. Wow. Yeah, I was off. You got a single jump into Vanduul space from Nyx. That's pretty nuts. How do I... Let me in there. Let me into the Virgil system, please. Come on. Why isn't it working? I think their... I think their star map broke because of 318. Strange. I can't enter a system. Well, yeah, that's surprising that there is a Vanduul system that close to Nyx. So technically we'll be 1 jump away from Nyx whenever we get it. Or 1 jump away from the Vanduul whenever we get on Nyx. Hey, the Poets, how you doing? Do we think that the login problems could be solved with throwing more money at Amazon? I don't know. I guess it's always a possibility. Money's always a possibility, but I think it's probably not best spent that way. I think it's better for them to, if that was an option, I would assume it's better for them to optimize and figure out the problems rather than just try and brute force past them. Yeah, nobody can really get in. I mean, some people can't get in, but most people can't. They said something about the arc map being busted. Nice. I am not getting past the 19,000 errors, as you can see. On full display. How you doing, Inforunners? Are there any Vanduul orgs that run around in Vanduul ships and masks? I don't know. You're in right now, 30 server frames per second. Go fight the AI, see how they are. Get footage of yourself fighting AI at 30 frames per second in the server, and you will have a killer of a YouTube video on your hands. Everybody wants to see that. I've seen that conversation pop up so much, how the AI does when the server's running well, and people are like, I've just never seen it. I want to know that it happens. Do it. I need to get Big Streamer to get the special login queue. Bruh. I'm just gonna pay to be the Big Streamer, you know? I'll just buy them followers until I can reach my 100K. What is a big streamer these days? Like 2 million followers? Honestly, the scene on Twitch when it comes to streaming is pretty insanely big. You ever seen that map? I've seen like a couple people go over it on their own streams. I think Ludwig went over it once or twice that I saw. That map where they show like the different areas of Twitch viewership and all the big channels and how they kind of cluster together. It's pretty nuts. Thank you, Nebulkasmark. Nebulkasmart. Something. I've almost got it, I think. Rags! Thank you for the sub. Appreciate you. Star Citizen is broke. Oh no, Star Citizen is rich. The game though is broken. It's okay, it's not rich. No, it keeps the margins. You think CIG gave you login access because you only had a queue once when 318 drops? That's because you're freaking out here famous to poets, dude. I've seen you. I've seen you on Twitter. I know. They know. Playing favorites right there. Your buddy is a small streamer and is in the whole you have to be a big streamer thing is crap. I don't think that's serious, to be honest. I mean, maybe somebody's saying that seriously. I hope not. Oh, if I drink a lot of water. I have not done a good job of drinking water. We drove into Istanbul yesterday, which is a crazy drive. It's so long. And we did not get much water. So, like, I've just been trying to catch up today. All right. Let's do another question, yeah? Well, you can't say there he is when he's not there. He's already done the prayer. Just nonsense. Will the Antares cockpit setup differ from the base Scorpius? For example, will it have 4 MFDs instead of just 2? And they said the cockpits are virtually identical with only minor changes to the co-pilot seat to account for the extra functionality. The Scorpius was intentionally built with 2 MFDs as we plan to bring back additional helmet-based MFDs in the future. So I was going to... Stop it. Gosh dang it, guys. He's not there. He's not. F***ing gone. I was thinking the other day, they were talking a ton about MFD stuff back in the day. We could probably go and find the times when they were talking about this stuff. But if you look at the MFDs, these are like some of the reworks they were showing us before. These are previs. This is like 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So it's probably not going to look like this, but this is kind of the direction they're going. And if you look at the top corners, there's definitely like specifying that it's going to be on your helmet. But I think they're also maybe going to redo some of these cockpits. Because now that they're changing the MFDs up, kind of like when they did this thing in the middle, you guys remember when they updated this? They added it to a lot of ships. Like some ships didn't have something for this and they had to sort of build it in. I feel like we will see some of the cockpits get an update. And you could say that that's kind of annoying since they could have done it from the get-go if they decide to do it that way. But I kind of get it. If you're building this system out and you realize you could put more things on the MFDs than you originally planned and maybe you need 1 or 2 more in some ships, some specialty ships like the Caterpillar could probably use more for its like tractor beam and stuff. It might have more. I don't know. Helmet MFDs, didn't know about that. Yeah, I think we used to have stuff like that, I think. Yeah, servers are not doing well still. I am... Oh, 187 and only 37,000 seconds. See, that can't be right. That's a lot of seconds. Is it? Is that a lot of seconds? 60 times 1,000? No, sorry, that's stupid. 60 times... Oh no, my math. 60 times 300? Let's see, 0, 0, 0. Carry the 0. No, that would only give you 18,000. Multiply that. That 60 times 60,000? I told you guys not to get me involved in math. 3,600 seconds is 1 hour. That's a good conversion to know. Makes sense. 60 times 60. That's what I was trying to get at, and I just couldn't figure it out. So that's 10 hours for me then? Sounds about right, yeah? Isn't it terrible? I'm also an engineer. Streaming rots your brains, kids. All right, so we'll give this a little more time. Clearly, it needs some. Let's look at another question. Despite losing the turret and therefore a substantial amount of its firepower, as well as reduced angles of cover fire, the Antares still packs a punch in terms of weaponry. Would the Antares technically classify as a heavy fighter? They still classify it as a heavy fighter. However, it does somewhat straddle the line between heavy fighter and interdictor. That's where they're losing points, I think. There is no such thing as interdictor in the game right now because there's not really any gameplay for it. Like, check this out. I think, actually, Inforunners in the chat did a really good video on this. If not, definitely a good discussion. If you look at this chart, can we make this bigger? Can we make it bigger? Why is it, tab frozen? Okay. Good morning, Banyan. Did I just lose internet? Oh, jeez. Please tell me I'm not losing internet or something. Please tell me it's just their website. Okay, good. Oh, that stuff freaks me out. All right, I'm just going to zoom into it like this. So, if you look at this, they name their careers out, and I think this is an old document. Anything that you find on these documents, take it with a grain of salt. This is from 2017. But a lot of it is here. So they got combat, transport, exploration, industrial support, competition. And in combat, you have interdiction ships, fighters, drop ships, and bombers. So we have all of these. But for the most part, they're all just kind of fighters. Like even when you go bounty hunting, the pirates will literally get into an atmospheric dogfight with you with an eclipse. So it's just kind of... The ship usages are all nonsense, and they make a ship like the Scorpius Antares, as unfinished as it is, feel a little less useful now than I think it will be when it actually matters. I can't speak towards the second person thing. I'm not going to get into that debacle, but the idea of the ship itself, I think, is pretty cool. But it is fun to look at these and realize that transport technically includes the data sort of type ship, like the MSR or the Herald or something. So there's a good chance that freight, passenger, and data missions will all be kind of similar. I don't know. This kind of stuff's fun to go through if you're interested in it. They've got literally... not literally. Virtually all the things that they wanted to do with the game originally. They've got listed somewhere in one of these documents that talks all about the different, specifications or professions you can do, the careers you can take, the types of ships you can get into. It's pretty cool. So I'll link that in chat if you want it. It's good reading. All of it's pretty old, but it still gives, shows you some of their direction, what they're thinking. But yeah, it's an interdiction ship. Probably not going to be that useful right now. Maybe when they redo quantum travel or throw in quantum boosting. Anyone know what ships are in Warbound right now? I don't know, but I do know that my entitlement has been processed, but I encountered a error during the phase of processing my entitlement. When the game has all these roles would be considered released, they're at a good point considering what's in the game at the moment. I think when the game can support these roles, not just have them. Because like you said, right now they're doing pretty good on it. But we have touring ships, but you can't support a, say, touring career. We have pathfinding ships, but same can be said about that. We have refueling ships. Can't really do that. The only things on here that you can really actually support are freight, fighters, and dropships. And when I say support, I mean somebody can jump into the game and take that on. So like if someone wants to go and be a what's it called? A Valkyrie pilot and make all their money just flying people around in a Valkyrie, they have to be able to get a squad together, drop them into a mission, have that squad complete the mission, and then pay them and be able to make enough money off of that. That's what I would consider a complete profession. You got to have all the things that support you as a player built into that profession, and I feel like not many of these do. They do have the ships for them, though, so that's cool. SE is a great tech demo. It always will be that. It will always be that. It will probably always in a very broken state, even in 3 to 4 years. You got to pick one. It can't always be a tech demo, but only be broken for 3 to 4 years. I guess it could be. Could be a very good tech demo. But I feel like at that point, it's just a game. How are we doing? All right, let's launch. Let's give it another try. Back to the Antares. It's a good backup for bounty hunters going for the kill or pirates keeping people from running. So interdiction has a role for the Antares. To sit somewhere as a trap for the Mantis is a little dodgy. It does have a role for the Antares, but again, I just don't think it's that useful. Not enough to be a profession or a thing that you can reliably do. Maybe, but you'd have to find people that you're fighting with, because I don't think this ship is going to be able to take on the battles it's looking for by itself. That's a lot of work yet, but it feels less development time than 10 to 15 more years as you were expecting. It's getting better. I think over the last 2 years, things have definitely sped up. Not gonna plug my video about that, but you know, I did make a video about it. I do think that over the last 2 years, things have started to speed up a bit on the content side. We've been hearing about the tech side of things for a long time. But now it finally feels like actual content is being developed. Like when we see a new location, besides the sand caves, they come with missions, which is definitely a step up from before. Let's see. How does the extra interdiction and EMP modules affect the Antares signature when being scanned? As it has more power-hungry components and an additional power plant to run them, the Antares signature is higher than the regular Scorpius, meaning it can be detected more easily. Ah, gosh, I'm so excited that we're starting to hear more about components. Yeah, always going to be a support role kind of ship. You're really impatient about the Expanse? I would love to see the Expanse. The Expanse is going to be a great connection to other gameplay. Because by the time we get the Expanse, we're going to definitely have tractor beams and a better cargo situation. So you would be able to do mining, refining, and shipping and selling all without any intervention from the game itself with your friends. That would be very cool by the time we get that. Thanks for the answers, no problem. Happy to help. Thanks for the conversation. Sif, good morning. How you doing? What's the Expanse? While we're sitting here waiting for our entitlement, let me pull up a quick picture of it for you. This bad boy. Oh no, don't open it in infinity. Why would you do this? Why is that the first way it's going to open a screenshot? Oh, this is the Expanse. It is a refinery ship. Looks a lot like the Starfarer, not going to lie. It has vibes. They're made by the same company, so it makes sense. It also obviously has a little bit in common with the Prospector. They all, you know, look pretty similar coming from the same company. But it can carry some of these mineral depositors or mineral bags, whatever you want to call them, sacks. In this, I think they actually called them sacks in the side here, and can refine the goods inside. So you would be able to go out with your Prospector, do some mining, come up into space in orbit, have somebody with a tractor beam pull them off, attach them to yours, throw some empty ones on your ship, and you go back down and keep mining while your friends aboard the Expanse, you know, talking over VoIP or whatever, chatter on while they're refining your goods. Refining your goods, eh? Wink, wink, wink. I don't know if it's very small. Maybe you didn't see that. The queue time isn't the worst part. The worst part is when you get through it and it still errors. Yeah, it's about to happen to me. Is the user folder in app data? No, it's in the program file. You haven't deleted user folder for a couple years and haven't had problems. Yeah, I don't think it'll literally block you from getting in if you don't delete it. I think it can help. Watching queues while watching streamers watch queues with queues inside of the queues. Yo, dog. Here's another picture of the Expanse from a different angle so you can see a little bit better that it's got the bags, the sacks. Oh gosh, them and their names. Floating about, doing things, you know, good fun. I'm so excited for industrial gameplay. Like I said, I'm a person who's not really interested in flying ships. I'm also not that interested in fighting. This is my bread and butter. I really can't wait for data gameplay. Got a badish. How you doing? It's going okay. How are you? Yeah, Najinx, it's because I'm a streamer, I have more entitlement, so it takes them a little bit longer to process it. It's okay though, we've talked about it. Generally I'm under NDA about any additional entitlement I've been granted, but for you. What about the easy anti-cheat issue? You try to launch SC from launcher, but it crashes saying unrecognized files. I've heard that people have been having anti-cheat issues. Did you try just like deleting that folder again? You're pretty new, Smokes. What are we talking when we refer to engineering? That is this. Would you guys prefer if we just skipped to engineering discussion and came back to all the 318 stuff? I know I'm taking forever to get through this Q&A. So entirely understand if you want to, but the engineering stuff is pretty fun. I mean, it's the Scorpius Antares. How interested is everybody in it? Yeah, engineering straight away. All right. Give a big shout out to who was that asked? Smokes in the chat. Thank you for switching us up to engineering. Everybody loves it. Not interested in flying ships. I'm also not interested in fighting. Why play SC then? H. Weaver, I've got a lot of good content in the game that doesn't involve flying or fighting to show you. Actually, it's a perfect segue into engineering. This is why.
At CitizenCon 20...
Let me stop the music real quick. You don't even want to be a pilot. You want to be an engineer of someone else's ship. Yeah. I think everybody should always keep in mind the original pitch of Star Citizen. It was not about flying ships. It was about living in space. The game that's about flying ships is more so Squadron 42, but even that's a lot of ground gameplay too. Yeah, this is a pretty crazy video. All right, let's get into it. Engineering. I'm going to be stopping this a lot, by the way. Hope you don't mind.
We debuted a new recurring initiative called Journey to 4.0, where we stepped a bit away from our traditional weekly behind-the-scenes format of Inside Star Citizen to tell stories at various points of progression leading up to the next major milestone in our continuing development after 318. And one of those more different within that batch were called Design Brief Investigations, where we looked at the earliest phases of a feature that only existed at that time in the text and crude diagrams of a planning document. And no, before you ask, don't ask to see the planning documents. It's all just fidelities and bespokes all over the place anyway. I'm kidding. Mostly. So on this next Journey to 4.0, we're diving into another design brief that's been discussed, debated, kicked around, pitched, and repitched over the years internally, imagined and theory crafted for just as long by the community, and has finally now been signed off by the multitude of game directors to become the next stage in the resource management system. So, without further ado, we present to you Design Brief Engineer, the next fundamental component of true multi-crew.
Already stopping the video. We haven't even started yet. This is the most interesting thing to me is that they come out and they're saying, we've done all this talking and figuring this out, and now we are finally going to start on engineering. And some of the reactions, I did a reaction to this on my second YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it, Space Tomato 2, lots of other stuff on there. There was a comment that I realized could be kind of a more popular sentiment, that it does sound like they're literally just starting with it. But what I think they're saying, and I think he's actually kind of clear about this, is that the resource networking stuff that we've been looking at was like the tech. That was the, you know, your Dan Truffin getting deep in there and actually figuring it out for the technology to work. This is engineering as a gameplay that's taking that tech and putting it into content, which I'm hoping means that the resource network technology that they've created is not just being used for engineering gameplay, but maybe also for just kind of other, and I guess they could call it engineering, but like other missions, other places. This is only a video about ships, but we've got outposts and underground facilities and cities. Actually, something I want to do for when I make a video on this is find all the places in the current game where I think this stuff could be applied and put it on video, because I think this is a lot bigger than ships, but right now they're just talking about the ship engineer kind of stuff. So I like that they're making that kind of clear with the way that they say that resource network stuff is becoming engineering gameplay. And we've seen that in the monthly report too. Solid on you.
Gameplay. Oh, I'm sorry. And one more thing. Fair warning before the comments come in. Since this next step in the resource management, now called engineer gameplay system, exists mostly in design stage at this moment, we did let Will, Dave, and Alex on the ISC cap.
Yeah, the fire, it's interesting how much the fire hazard is getting worked into this feature too. Because we kind of just thought that fire hazards were going to be a thing that happens on ships, but they're really focusing on the idea of transferring heat, which is my neck of the woods. HVAC engineers. But yeah, like cooling things down by just spraying them with a cold gas. Convection heating? Interesting. How we doing? Launch the game. Get us in. Get us in, Captain. Oof. All right, get out of here. We do need space duct tape. Fulgora, have you seen their building interior stuff?
What is your role as an engineer? You, as the engineer, are responsible for the resource management of your ship, the priorities of the items, and you are also responsible for countering any dangers that you might encounter throughout your flight. A big part of your job as an engineer is dealing with...
Look, it's your engineering laser, guys. Screenshot and make threads about it. Yes, I was an engineer in real life. Now I just talk to a camera. But I used to do HVAC stuff.
Dangers that affect the mechanical parts of your ship and are different to the ones you would face as a pilot.
I need an engineer in here.
There are 3 types of dangers that you will face as an engineer. One being something that you already know, which is overheating. The second being wear and tear. And the third one being malfunctions. So overheating is not only items running too hot, but it also is item running too cold. And the way that you can counter that is either actively or passively, where passively is something that we already do with the cooler on your ship, and actively being something like you standing in front of the item and using your fire extinguisher to bring down the temperature of the item.
All right, what was your first thought when you heard about this? That the ambient temperature around your component is actually going to have an effect on the efficiency of your component. What ship did you guys think of? Definitely one that I thought of really quick there. Why did I leave my job? It's a long story. But at the end of the day, we had to move out here to Turkey, and I couldn't do engineering in Florida from Turkey. 400i. Yeah. Interesting, huh? Let's see. 400i interior tour. See if anybody has... Oh! The architect himself! Oh, God, an ad. That's why I hate watching YouTube on this account. All right. And here we go. Florida's a good place to leave behind. Agreed.
Doing it off.
I'm glad to be going from there. So the 400i has some
and centered to the design of the ship.
climate-cooled component bays.
One cool little quirk of the engineering space, though, is that it's actually cooled to a lower temperature than the rest of the ship.
HVAC!
If you look at the lower left-hand corner, the temperature drops from 24 degrees Celsius down to 3 degrees Celsius. I think this is the first time I've actually seen this on a ship in Star Citizen, so worth noting.
Yeah. Noted. And I'm interested in seeing if they do that in more ships or if they allow that as like an option at some point or what. See, there's a microtransaction I'd pay for. Update my HVAC. Give me that top class HVAC. Water cooled, VRF, VAVs all over the place. You got that top ducted return. Ooh, no, top ducted supply. Bottom ducted return. Yeah, talk dirty. Thank you for the super chat, Hambone. Appreciate you. Stream Santa. Think you'll wait until 318 runs a little better? Let me see if I'm getting anywhere. Nope. 19,000. Good call. You'll be leaving Florida behind soon too. It was okay at times, but I got so many racist jokes made to me there. I had never really experienced it before. I'm not gonna lie. Growing up, I didn't get exposed to that much. And then I moved there for my first job after college, and I was like, what the fuck, Florida? It was very surprising, I guess. Hey, Tim, thanks for coming. All right, let's get back to engineering. We're getting distracted. Oh, God. Who did it? Mason Walsey, thank you for the 5 community subs. Getting that beautiful saxophone going. Love that sound. Appreciate you. I'm originally from California.
Use a flamethrower or blowtorch. So wear and tear is a danger you might have already heard us talk about in the past. It's just something that the longer your item runs, the less efficient it will be at some point. So a general maintenance will be required to keep them up and running. And then there is the new one, which we call malfunctions, which we'll talk about later in more detail. But the way that you react as the engineer there is unique to each malfunction.
There is actually a video on my Twitch channel. I don't know if there's any mods here right now. I believe there's a video linked on the front page of my Twitch channel that explains kind of why we moved to Turkey. We had, gosh. Y'all remember that guy Trump? He caused some problems for us. So, his whole thing made it so that we needed to come here for a little while, and now we're working our way back, but we're taking some time.
All 3 dangers contribute to the health of the item and have an impact on each other. So, since the first 2 are quite easy to grasp.
Oh, obviously, my wife's from Turkey. Like, we didn't just move to a random country. We live here with family.
Let's dive a bit deeper into the malfunctions. Different items in different situations cause different errors. And while I can't talk about all of them today, here are some currently in development. There's disconnect, where you either don't have a relay right now in the place, or you don't have the item right now at the item port. Then there is power
Engineering
drop,
laser.
where certain or the required amount of power doesn't reach the item. Then there is misfire, where wear and tear impacts the functionality of your item. Then there is cloggage, where resources are prevented from reaching your item. There's also power surge, where high energy reaches your item.
What? I can't even like focus on this video. Who did this? Look at these facial expression.
Like your item. There's also
oh my god, it's creepy, honestly.
are
The poop face.
prevented from reaching your item. There's also power surge, where high energy reaches your item and will negatively affect the function of the item. And then there is leakage, which is similar to cloggage, where resources won't reach your item, but the cause is a little bit different. Then we have unresponsive, where you as the engineer try to communicate certain changes on the item and they will not reach the item. There is bugged, where like we have the most experience with being creative, so be surprised for what comes your way. And then lastly, we have destroyed, where you just lost your item. Bug can also be caused by hacking or being tuned incorrectly.
So this, like, the malfunctions part of this is, I think, the part that kind of surprised me the most about engineering. Because we've always known that you were going to have to balance resources, power, life support, batteries, or I guess batteries part of power. And then we knew that kind of there was going to be a side of things where you would need to be doing like the tuning and the overclocking stuff. But this talk about malfunctions is really what makes me think that the engineering profession might actually be it might actually give you more gameplay than just standing around waiting for people to get into a fight. Because if they can push people to want to min-max the function of ships enough, if they can make tuners valuable enough, that makes tuning, you want to pay more for a good tuner, right? If you pay for a bad tuner, then whoever it is that takes care of malfunctions, I think it's the mechanic, ends up having more work to do. So then you're going to have trade-offs. Otherwise, I guess, unless you can just pay people crap and they just work for you, I feel like they have a chance to really push malfunctions, because if you have somebody who's not a good tuna, then it's definitely going to make a little bit more of a fun time for the mechanic, or I guess a bad time, depending on who you are. Came in late, but this video gets you hyped. Malfunctions is essentially reliability and maintainability gamified. Yeah, I didn't know they were going to do that. They talk a little bit about resource management back in the day, but not with tuning involved, or not with malfunctions involved, I mean.
Hey!
Why do we introduce malfunctions? The reason is quite simple. It's something that you know from your real life. Like, after a while, certain things start to malfunction. So you better pay attention to those malfunctions and know how to react to those. So your job as an engineer is preventing those malfunctioning from actually happening, or preventing the dangers that they create on your ship. And if you don't react in time, you might end up with cascading of errors that will in the end lead to the failure of your ship. It allows us to have the engineer being as important on bigger ships like the pilot or the gunner. We want to make sure that there's plenty of things to do for you as an engineer. Your job as the engineer is also understand.
Thank you for the kind thoughts, by the way. Folks, I would be wary. If somebody who's streaming says they don't like a person, don't praise the person in the person's chat, even if you like them. It's just kindness there. You hope they include doing actual math in the tuning gameplay, more specialization in skill or knowledge gates instead of arbitrary level caps. I hope there's math, but not too much math. 5 is 1 more than 4. 5 what? What is 5? Oh, for the error. I'm just about not paying any attention to it at this point.
Understanding the items, and that
Do I think Star Citizen is going to be overly complicated that it will be unable to be soloed? No. I don't think it'll be unable to be soloed, but I don't think you're going to get to try everything solo. So if you want to play solo, you're not going to be able to go in like a big ship, I don't think. Or at the very least, I don't think you'll be able to go into a big ship and use it well, you know? Same goes for like if you want to do bunker raids with like a team of folks, you're going to have more trouble doing that with NPCs than with people, or by yourself than with other people. So I don't think that you're going to have to deal with not necessarily being able to enjoy the game, but I don't think you'll get as much out of it. Hope then we have NPCs. Someday, yeah. Oh, look at that. I didn't even have to go into the queue this time. I'm like one of you guys now. Yeah. Did I move up to the next stage? A little bit better. 318 did drop Cody, but at the same time, it also didn't drop. So.
means you have to understand the different states an item can be in. States are basically stages for the items inside your ship, where each item has...
Yeah, it was a wipe, Cody, but when I say it's not actually dropped, they're having a lot of problems with it. It's looking like a lot of people are getting in over the last couple of minutes, though, so maybe something's happening. But it's been a struggle for a lot of people. Alex Northsea, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Appreciate you. It should be fun. That's the main game. You mean playing the game solo? You thought this CIG dev was my wallpaper? That'd be funny.
It's individual stages or states it can be in, where, for example, you can have items that have a boot up phase. Then they have, that is followed by an ignition phase, where you have to ignite something so that it is going into the idle state, where it is basically waiting to go into the active state, where it starts to produce the resources that you actually need. Then from that active state, it will probably, or some items might go into the prime state, where you have to fire.
This is also, guys, we used to, oh my gosh. Who are my pre 3.0 buddies in chat right now? You guys remember how much we used to theorycraft about, gosh. Oh, you would have the startup process of your ship, and you'd run around and you'd hit the power supply and you'd make sure that the gravity generator came on, you'd do it. And then people would jump in and they'd be like, or you just press a button and skip that, all right? I didn't think they were actually going to do it. It's pretty nuts. They're actually talking about doing a set up your ship to run kind of deal, which is nuts. And I guess that's where you start to find malfunctions, because people don't set up ships well. That's exciting. Some people want SC to be hard and complex over the fun aspect, and to me, that's not what you want. That's fair. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't really want it to be as in-depth as it has been pitched to be. There's certainly a gradient. The best thing that I think they can do is make it complex at the top and simplify it the further down you go, and try to provide a type of gameplay for everybody. Yeah, I got further. Now I'm at character retrieval. I'm brute forcing my way in. No, Punji, I lost my entitlement. I gave it up. It's been processed. It's now a non-processed GMO entitlement. The bigger the ship, the more effort it should take to run. Yeah. Or even not even the bigger the ship, the more power intensive the ship. Like, let's imagine if there was, I guess, like a subcapital interdiction ship. You know, something that was like Perseus sized, but made for interdiction. That thing should be lighting up like a Christmas tree, yeah? Bigger than a javelin. So it should be harder to keep that thing hidden than a javelin. But that thing should also have kind of a more valuable ability than the javelin in that case. I don't know, there's so many things for them to balance over. You want it like chess, easy to learn, hard to master. Yeah, and for runners. Is there still a seat problem, Rickon? Toniak and that their pleb. That their pleb. Thank you both for the subs. Appreciate you over there on Twitch. Y'all are lovely. The more moving parts a ship has, the more WD-40 you gotta keep on board, and the more cardboard you need as replacement material. As long as the controls in UI are good, are simple, that's what I'm getting more interested now in hearing about with engineering gameplay. Especially because when they're showing this tuner, they're showing them with like a sort of like a data pad. We got to see what kind of stuff, like, are we going to just get an overlay of the ship that we can tune and do everything we need from right there, or what's it going to be?
Our example is here an EMP that can then go into a cooldown state where you basically have to wait for the item to cool down again and then to be restarted or turned off. This adds a new level of complexity to you as the engineer, where you not only have to pay attention to the dangers, the malfunctions when they appear or where they appear. It's also important on which item they appear and in which state the item currently is. Because depending on the state the item currently is where the malfunction happens, it might end up you having to switch the item to a different state to be able to fix the malfunction or counter the malfunction, or even turn off the item completely because the current state requires you to restart the item completely. And yes, for some things it is as simple as turning them off and on again.
Isn't it always? I think when I do my video on this, I'm going to do it backwards from how they do it. For some reason, it seems like they went backwards. I feel like you should introduce the roles, mechanic, tuner, and manager, and then introduce the states of items and talk about how the tuner has to set those states up, and then talk about how those roles can lead to malfunctions and how that affects the components. But maybe I need to listen to it again. Either way, I think what he's saying here is that the tuner is going to have to work on making sure that all of the items are started up correctly. If you start up the ship, you're Idris, and you don't do the power plant right, then 10 hours down the line, it could still be plaguing your guy's performance. That would be caused by bugs that are sprouting because you just didn't start it right. Maybe it's literally just a golf swing. You have to press a button to start the power on the right track, just like the mining. And when you hit it in green, 100% good. If the further away you get it, the higher percentage of bugs pop up per hour or something like that. I think that's kind of what they're saying. And those bugs will manifest in different ways or could be caused by damage to the items as well. But it's really cool to see how much this is going to be interconnected with the actual running of your ship and not just what happens when you're like in a battle or something. I look forward to it. I'm excited for this. Why in 2942 on such developed ships would be malfunctions? Because people suck at writing code. No, because code always is hard. I mean, like, people would probably 2,000 years ago be like, why in 2,000 years when you have machines that literally can write out the stuff that we're scraping into the side of rock and y'all still make mistakes? It's because humans are stupid. we always make mistakes. Also because, gameplay. You're right. I hope I'm right. I really do, because it sounds really good that way. You think there will be much FPS improvement or stability during this game? During this game, like 3.18? I do. Yeah. Although I think that it's going to be pretty hampered by PES for now. Oh, Brown Hammer. Yo, my friend, it's been a little while. How have you been? I haven't seen you in the game. We haven't talked in a minute. Doing okay. Hope you're doing well. You heard something about pirating? What is that? Soft death in 3.18 allows for more interesting pirating stuff. Yeah, the manager might be something that only happens on the much larger ships. I have verified the game, yeah. What planet is the University of Engineering going to be on? How long will the course be? Honestly, it's probably going to be on, let's be honest, Terra. Terra Prime. All right, here's the roles for an engineer.
All of this we do to make the engineering gameplay more engaging. We still want to allow players to maintain their ships on their own, but especially for bigger ships, we really want to...
This is so cool. Just even as a concept, the idea of actively cooling your ship if it overheats and you just got to set her down, like I don't know, it feels like a classic Star Wars moment. Ah, my ship's overheating. I've got to crash land. And the battle rages on. You're like, I'm the hero. I'm separated from the battle. And you land down here and you keep your ship from overheating so you can get it working faster again or something. This could play into how they start the game. If they wanted to give you options on how to start, maybe you start in a city. Maybe they give you a No Man's Sky start. Imagine how much more in-depth this sequence could be if they did the same thing that No Man's Sky does, but with this kind of engineering and the mining and like the outpost system and the stuff that they have in Star Citizen. Star Syst. Sounds really cool to me.
To introduce meaningful interactions so that you decide to have several engineers on your ship. And for that, we introduced the 3 types of hats that you can wear as an engineer. The 3 basic engineering types are tuner, mechanic, and manager. So the tuner is the person that is responsible for your strategic decisions. The tuner is responsible for setting up the items in advance depending on what you want to achieve with your ship. So if you want to go exploring, you ask the tuner to bring the items into a state that they are less prone to wear and tear, that they sustain longer, that they can or are more energy efficient or resource efficient. The tuner defines item groups, base resource consumptions, responsibilities or roles on your ship, as well as setting new min and max performances for all the ship items you have. So overall, the tuner is a very proactive role where we want to reward players who plan their crew activities in advance.
See, I don't know. Are they going to be, for a smaller ship, I'm sorry, that's not a very flattering shot.
We did...
There you go. Oh, much better. Are they, hi. Are they, oh no, that was the other way. Hello. Are they going to allow you to just combine these roles? I mean, for like a small ship, let's say a Constellation, I feel like these would all be the same role. You would be the tuna, you would be the mackerel, you'd be the bass, right? I don't know. It seems like this is something that's going to happen more for ships like an Idris or something. Oh, Cody, you got in? Nice. Chicken of the sea. Don't remember fish being this important in lore. Have you not heard about the buoyancy additions they've been making? Gold Bond you got into? Nah, it said no. Not you, tomato. We don't allow fruit in here. Carrick, maybe. Yeah, I can see the
Plan
Carrick.
the tuner to be
We also got to see how hard they're going to hit us with these malfunctions and stuff. That's the hard part. Once again, it's like they have to make this interesting enough, useful enough that people need to pay engineers to be on board, but also not so bad that it just completely destroys your game if you're playing on like a solo ship. I guess what's really going to be important with this is how does it affect things like a Cutlass or a Freelancer or a Spirit, like those 1 to 2 person size ships. How playable will those ships still be if you don't have anybody focusing on engineering?
more relevant in advance of your adventures. But I'm sure players will figure out ways to make use of the tuner in various scenarios. The next hat you wear as an engineer is the mechanic. The mechanic plays into your fantasy of what you imagine when you think about sci-fi and the role as an engineer. It's like, in Star Trek terms, the person running around or crawling through the Jeffries tubes to fix any item. Or in Star Wars terms, Chewbacca handing you the Hydro Spanner to fix up the middle.
I want to know if these are natural shots that they filmed in game or if they were able to program these things to happen. Like it's so hard to film this stuff. They did such a good job. Maybe you lose your gun to deal with the brakes. Yeah, so like in that case, I'm thinking if you have a 2-person ship, like a Cutlass or a Spirit or something like that, if it was as engaging as, say, a Sea of Thieves sort of situation, where if you're getting shot by other people, you need to be active, but if you're not doing anything, then you can be passive. I feel like that would be a good balance for that kind of gameplay, because you can't ask Star Citizen to be simpler than Sea of Thieves in that regard, right? This is a very in-depth game in comparison when it comes to the systems they're trying to build. So I only think that would be a good like floor of interactivity. Look at those DSLs. This dude lift. If CIG sticks to their saying of pushing it to realism, then bringing it back to fun, then I don't think it will be too prohibitive. Snores more copium. I think they'll try to keep it fun as much as they can.
Millennium Falcon. You
Whatever
are
that
responsible for fixing fuses, figuring out what the details of the malfunctions are. You are analyzing the situation on site. So you're going through all the rooms, finding the item that you were just called out on that needs maintenance, needs repair, depending on the
FPS scanning. That's probably what that needs. Dependencies. It's going to be a weight of priorities. Continue fighting and hope you survive, or disengage to try a quick fix and get back into the fight. Yeah, it's a fun decision to have to make. Super fun. Is this live? What we're watching is not live, but I am indeed live. Full Girl, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you.
item or the situation, you as the mechanic have to react individually to it, which can be a minigame-like character where you have to fix something that is unique to the malfunction that you are facing. The manager uses the engineering screen to analyze your state of the ship, and they just...
So the manager is the one who uses the engineering screen. So that, I hope that means that we've got a MobiGlass app for the startup stuff, the malfunction stuff, the power shunting stuff. What's up, Anthony? Star Citizen is not even into beta yet. And you should definitely not get... You should get a Spirit over a Cutlass Steel if you're going to, but I would say stick with the Cutter for now. Who's in the background in this shot? Keep a lookout for a dude in a whale costume. Yeah, the one who just flew past and then was in the behind him.
That is unique to the malfunction that you are facing.
Right there. What's even happening in this shot? Why do you have explosions in your ship? All right, fix that, manager.
Manager uses the engineering screen to analyze your state of the ship, and they dispatch
And he's just walking by out like he just blew up.
mechanics or the tuner where need arises, and can even assist with fixing certain malfunctions. They manage the resource consumption via the presets the tuner prepared or manually controlling the resource distribution, and they work together with the bridge crew to ensure a successful operation of your ship.
I got to hear that again, actually, because I missed the first part of that.
Or the tuner. The manager uses the engineering screen to analyze your state of the ship, and they dispatch mechanics or the tuner where need arises, and can even assist with fixing certain malfunctions. They manage the resource consumption via the presets the tuner prepared or manually controlling the resource distribution, and they work together with the bridge crew to ensure a successful operation of your ship.
Excuse me? How come every time I jump into Quantum I get thrown off my feet, but this dude's just freaking standing here like some kind of Quantum Chad? Doesn't have to sit down for the Quantum jump? Come on! This game is rigged. Will the second player in your Cutlass Black be able to help you get out of your seat? Only with the tractor beam. Cody, thank you for the 5 super chat. Anyone have an idea what to do about a 1903? Also love watching Space Tomato. Thank you. I don't think there's anything you can really do on your end. It's kind of just, it's whatever's going on with them. Oh, is it the leg day I skipped? That was like one time 6 weeks ago. Come on. Mag boots? Ooh. That's cute. Currently, we are aware of the 19,000 error, which is preventing login to the live servers. Presumably, the error stems from high server load. What do you know? And the team is investigating and working on the problem as we speak. For now, I recommend that you hang tight while we work on the fix, and we can hopefully get you flying through space soon. Just got in after about 12 login attempts. Worth to keep trying. Is it? I don't know. I think, like, as soon as I'm done with this stream, I'm done trying. Have they ever mentioned what they're going to do about extremely large ships where it wouldn't be practical to have everyone sit down every time you make a jump? No, I think you're just going to want to sit down. Or, you know, end up on your back. But yeah, most ships, you know, for crew, I guess I don't know, honestly. Maybe not for quantum boosting, it's not a thing. You think Mike also sat through his entire stream waiting? Yeah, I think I heard that too. Once you got through 19,000, then that account will work, but you have to do it again for other accounts. Yeah. 318 is released. There are people playing it, but not everybody can. Thank you. I am not playing because I can't get in. Bigger ships may also be more stable. That's true. Maybe the big ships hold you down. Get the light counted at 200 to launch the game. Good call.
I'm really happy that I'm actually sitting here and explaining you all the things that I just described to you, because the entire process that we had to went through was daunting, to say the least, because we are touching so many bases with so many teams. So it's a lot of meetings, a lot of discussions, a lot of different opinions of what the engineer should be. And now we have it written down, we have it nailed down, we know what we want, we have defined goals, what the gameplay actually should be about, and everyone agrees. So that allows us now
Tanner, why are you just insulting people, bro? Come on. We're just chilling here. Vent your anger somewhere else. Don't be mean to him. Let's see, where was I? I don't even think this is like opening. I think I keep not letting it launch. What is this called on Twitch? Like what's my stream called? Got in after 2 times, no problem. Nice, medic.
To move forward fast and deliver the feature that we all have been waiting for. You, me.
It's called trying for 318 live and catching up on news.
Everyone, like Jared. It's
Me.
something that we are really looking forward to how it will play out, how you as a player will interact with the entire system, what you like, how, where you will bring your ships that you own and what you can make out of them, how different they will actually feel to what they are right now in terms of stock versus you have the perfectly tuned ship for your demands. And this might come sooner than you think. This is the good news about it, because it all ties in with all the resource network work or resource management work that we have been doing so far. We are really excited to work on it right now. So it is in active development, and I don't want to do any promises when you will see it, but we are doing our very best that you will be able to try it out sooner than later.
In sweeps, Jared.
No dates. But it's really cool. So, what did we learn here?
His face. He's like, oh God, I just want to be in my office. Somebody asked if they introduced us with a list of careers. Yes, we've got kind of a list here. I don't know what the heck's going on with it. It's a little broken right now. Is that because I'm zoomed? What is that? There we go. Yeah. So they've got the different careers here: combat, transport, exploration, industrial support, competition. I think it probably will expand a little bit about past this, given everything that we know. But this is pretty all-encompassing. Mining, salvage, science, agriculture, refueling, repair, reporting, medical, passenger transport, freight transport, pathfinder, bomber, fighter, racing. It's got most of them right here, so they had some idea, yeah. Arturito, hey, good to see you. How are you? They have not really talked about player settlements. No, just settlements that the NPCs will be using so far. Well, I guess we'll be using it too. But mainly for NPCs to be housed at. What am I called on Twitch? Space Tomato Gaming, I think. Use the red phone and maybe my entitlement will get processed. They keep processing my entitlement. They just don't give it back. Doing okay, Arturito. The above could be stretched out for deeper detail. Maybe the character has recently graduated from a college or tech school. What's the above? Oh, nice. We're doing good.
Here this week. Well, we learned that the hopes and dreams of multi-group players everywhere are taking their next major step forward right now as resource management evolves into engineer gameplay. That the design spoken about here today is currently in active development and will continue throughout the remainder of this year. And that we would normally have to wait months and months to share a story until we had the visuals for it.
Get out of here.
But I work with some talented, if kind of strange people who stepped up to make this week's episode possible now. And don't worry, you know we're going to be back to show you how engineer gameplay is actually progressing later this year. Engineering's the thing that brought me into the project, and I'm as excited as ever about what's being shared here. And as for Alpha 318, I'm being told, yes, there's a message in my ear. I'm being told that it's today. Has it happened yet? It's going to happen. But which one is it? You can't tell me because there's nothing in my ear, and we recorded this on Wednesday. We like to have fun. Check the website and socials for details. And thanks for watching the latest in our journey to 4.0. We'll be back with more Inside Star Citizen next week. So until then, I'm Jared Huckabee, and I don't have an outro for these J24 specials. Leave one in the comments. That'll be good.
All right, so that's engineering. I got to watch that a few more times, honestly, before trying to make a video on it. But I'm excited for this. Engineering's really cool. I'm looking forward to that. All right, what do we got here next? What else are we gonna kill our time with? Hey, 19,000. Good for us. He thought he was serious. No, he will. I mean, technically he was serious. Kind of. It did. Actually, no. It released the next day, huh? It did release. It's just a pain to try and get into. Love CIG, but I do wish they would keep things to themselves. It'd be better if we didn't know and everything was a surprise. There would be way less hype, though. And they'd also probably not be funded. Let's be honest, the only reason that they've gotten funding for this game is because they've been able to tell people what's coming up. If they couldn't say anything about the development, this game would have failed just like every other one that tried to do a more closed development Kickstarter. It's not giving you entitlement and initialization errors? Well, Bouncy Bear, maybe you're just not as entitled as the rest of us. Ever think about that? Mike's stream yesterday was great. Reminder, streaming is not about gaming but community and common interest. Indeed. Well, depends on who you are. Some people really like the game. Have I tried the character repair tool? No, I have not yet. I heard about that. Wanted to come and personally say I hope my views expressed on Twitter weren't misunderstood as directed at you. I don't believe so. But I am also not entirely sure what you're referring to. But no worries. What stage is that? Verify? Stage 1 out of infinity, my friend. I don't know where you are in the process, to be honest. So we've got the Drake Vulture. Is one of the newer ships in the game coming out in this patch. It is one of the first times that we get to do salvage, something we've been waiting quite a while for. The most delayed feature in Star Citizen's history. And it's honestly still not really quite there yet. This is more along the lines of what real salvage is going to be when you're crunching up and cutting up the hull of a ship and then bringing it into your little mouthy thing, turning it into scrap. This and component retrieval is going to be real salvage. So we still got a ways to go, but this first version of hull scripting is definitely showing some promise. I like it. I think it works really well for what it is. It's a great first step into salvage. It's a good way to show people kind of how the mechanic works before you start to bring it into the more serious stuff that hopefully we'll be seeing later this year. Somebody had actually asked about the hull C. On the progress tracker being almost done. This does not mean it's finished per se. This just means that their current whatever work is recorded is finished. They might not have updated this for a while, but also they could have, I guess audio is here, and I think they talked about art being mostly complete, so it could be done. Thinking maybe they're going to wait until the cargo refactor is ready for it, though. Because it does need 32 SCU boxes. We don't have those yet. All right, yeah, let's check out the Vulture trailer. Haven't watched that yet.
Most folks, they see a wreck.
Most
I
folks.
just see
What planet is this?
a bunch of junk.
See, this is what I imagine the lawless missions are going to look like for salvaging. Just got a bunch of salvagers there trying to get all they can before it all gets scrapped up.
Not you, though. You see a
Oh, that
gold
was cool.
mine. Not you, though. You see
Ow.
a gold mine.
Right in the kisser.
You don't bother with a big, clunky rig. You don't need to.
You just got the small clunky rig.
That's you. A wrecking crew of one. Doing it your way.
See, now that's the real salvage. I like how they just give us a little teaser of it.
One.
Also, what was that? Hold on a second. What's going on here? Can somebody please tell me what's going on here? Somebody come look at this. Somebody come look at this. Is this not pushing the box out of the way? Can you get 2 boxes out? I thought it was only a space for 1. What's going on in this trailer? Are they bamboozling us? That's pushing the box out of the way, right? You can do that in game? You could do 2 boxes? Okay. If you can do 2 boxes in the game, then that's fine. But I swear it was 1 box. I think it's Dead Leader. I don't know if you're still in chat. Dead Leader has a really good idea for that, though. He thinks that the boxes should just keep getting pushed until they start floating out the back of the ship and allow for somebody to just scoop them up. I thought that was a really good one. I'd love if they just did that. Please just do that, CIG. I think that would make the Vulture a lot more interesting to use. But definitely pushing the box out of the way there.
One cruise wreck is another pilot's riches.
Salvage charge. They've got to be right.
Stake your claim with the Vulture.
Okay, so they showed us like 3 of 4 different types of salvaging there, which is really cool. It's all make-believe, but still, it's cool to see. Because like you can tell that they've got the designs idea for it now. They did not have this idea before, at least not that I knew of. The whole
Doing it your way.
how is hole munching going to work with the Vulture? It just they just talked about how actually these parts were going to be tractor beams, and they were going to be what brought the items into the muncher. But now they've put this in multiple pictures, and now in the video, this is probably how it's going to work.
One cruise wreck is another pilot's riches. Stake your claim with the Vulture.
With the
Only from Drake.
The Vulture. Did you guys know that Drake Interplanetary literally just picked their name because they thought it was cool? They just wanted a name that made the company sound legit. And there was no reason behind it. That part of the Vulture doesn't have gravity and you can't grab boxes like that. Oh, that's actually, I think, this. That's actually, I think, going to be a thing pretty soon. Because if you go to the Squadron 42... Oh, what's it called? Something development. I don't know. I'm sure this will find it. Partner development. That's kind of the zero-G stuff that they're looking at. Like this.
You come down, you'll see as put our hands out to brace ourselves.
This is their zero-G push and pull thing. It's not super smooth, but you can see it starting to work.
put our hands out to brace ourselves.
I love how they
Stop the
edited out
arm.
there.
That's not marked up or anything. It's all your thing.
So
You
I do
push
think
up
that's going to
against
start to
things.
be a thing with boxes as well, and hopefully they'll actually carry their own momentum and inertia like they did in that video. Was that had way too erotic? I mean, it's salvaging. If you're going to cut things up, do it nice. The Vulture sales page picture 4 talks about the tractor beam and the maw. Oh, that's cool. Cool. All right. So finally, here is the video for the actual 318 announcement. I'm assuming it's going to have both of the ships that we just saw, as well as some of the other features coming into the game. Let's check it out. Dude, where's your helmet? Oh, nice. Love a Pico. Oh, he died. But they got his boxes, so that's cool. Wait, look at how slowly this dude is tractor beaming the box in the background. That's the person who still doesn't understand it's the mouse wheel that changes the speed. Come on. Not the speed, the position. I bet Pedro Camacho made this. This reminds me of the 300i commercial song he made. Okay. Can we all just look at the this pirate out here doing, maybe that's not a pirate, maybe that's a person who's on the same team as the rover, but they're literally just not doing their job. And about to get run over and gets run over. I'm not a huge fan of either of the Daymar locations. I think the outpost is okay. The derelict outpost is okay. It's still lacking the content though to make it convincing. But the caves, the sand caves, not even worth a mention in this trailer. They're good. They're very cool. Props to the developers who made it. The art is great. It looks fantastic, but it's got nothing really going for it. Now, Correa, on the other hand. Oh my gosh, and you just kind of forget that there's an entire new profession in racing added to the game. They always pick weird names for these updates, not gonna lie. But this is a good update. 318 is freaking huge. I love it. Just when it runs better, I think is going to be the kicker. And yeah, there's not super tons amount of talk about Correa. I think the potential of it hasn't really been realized yet. Because on PTU, there's not that many people coming in and out of a server, but on live, people are going to be constantly making some progress and some activity over there. It's going to be really fun. Like if you like FPS combat and you're looking for PvP, I would say stick around Crusader. Because Correa Station is probably going to get busy. Yeah, I like the flair that Pedro brings. I'm assuming that Camacho is behind this one as well. Maybe they mention it in the thing. No, they don't. Does great stuff, though. There will never be a prison break like that. It's either you get shot at by bounty hunters or you get out and then probably disconnect from a 30K. That's not leaving up much up to possibilities. You either escape or you 30K. I've definitely gotten out, although I was getting hunted by bounty hunters. Oh, I think the difference here is that this is a mission with NPCs. So you would actually be able to kind of fight your way out like this. Let's try verifying one more time. What do you guys think of the Vulture? Who in the crowd is the it's not real Salvage? Yeah, it's not real Salvage crowd. I know some people are still waiting for ship munching, which is actually making some decent progress. Vehicle munching. I don't think this is the last of the work they need to do on it, though. I think we're probably going to see vehicle content team maybe come in here. But they might have already done their work. I don't know. I think there's more work than what's listed here, though, on it. To start, but not a real thing. Using the Vulture right now, enjoying it a lot. Component retrieval is going to make a big difference. You're going to give it a go buying it in the game, that's a good call. Or if you're looking for a place to borrow somebody else's, our org is doing a whole setup with vultures and reclaimers and letting anybody who wants to try those things try them out at specific times during the week. Don't care because you can't buy it in game. Folks, I highly suggest asking other players to try out these ships. People are super kind in letting you give them a go. People are getting in, Slippy. Not me, though. Not me, said the tomato. It's really disappointing what they're doing with the ships that came out in November and December by not including them in this patch. Because that makes me think the Vulture's not going to be out for like another 6 months. There's a video of 3 people getting 2 vultures, 1 cutlass. You leave the vulture's backs open, and the guy in the cutlass uses a tractor beam. Yeah, works really well. Character retrieval and readiness. Nice. What else is EUPU working on? These are the big teams to look at, by the way, if you're interested kind of in which features are coming up. The PU gameplay feature teams are really fun to keep track of. I think USPU is working on the cargo refactor, which is probably going to be what enables things like the Expanse, the Hull C, freight elevators, other stuff like that. Where is that? Here we go. Freight elevators, cargo system refactor. And then EUPU is working on stuff like salvage, engineering that we just saw, life support, lockable containers, and then I think the active feature team is working on the interaction system, which includes lockers, which will allow us to save loadouts so that you don't have to equip every item one at a time. That's going to be a huge feature to enter the game too. So there's a couple of these teams working on some really good features right now. Does reinstalling the game actually help? I wouldn't try the reinstall. I don't think that's going to do anything for you. Definitely seems like it's network related. Physician, I think somebody did leak Squadron 42 footage. At least from like a internal video they had. Will they need server meshing for a lot of that? No. I don't think they'll need server meshing for any of that. Cargo refactor's already started with 318. And vehicle munching, I don't think we'll need the server meshing. Either way, whatever kind of leak it was Squadron 42 footage. So you can always check that out if you're looking for more. I'm personally staying away from it. How long has Mop and Bucket been in development? 94 weeks. Actually, it looks like it's mainly just 8 weeks here on animation and then here again at the end for engineering. I don't know why they include all the space in between the teams being applied. A lot of people are logging in, but not everybody can get in. Why don't they give Squadron 42 Chapter 1? That's the whole game. The whole game is just Chapter 1, and then there's 2 other games, Chapter 2 and 3. This is just tech for the janitors in Squadron 42, whatever they're doing, I guess. It's just part of, that's just another role on the ship. So like they have engineers, pilots, officers, security, marine, or not marines, but like ground forces, mechanics, flight deck crew, and janitors. And this is just the thing for janitors. If you look up some of the other roles, you'll find them on there too. Yeah, the whole game's Chapter 1. The game is called Squadron 42 Chapter 1, but it is made up of like 20 or 30 missions. You could call it Chapter 1, Part 1, whatever you want to call it. There's 3 games though. This one that they're making is just a first of 3. Do they have just like, here we go. So they have all of the chapters all the way up through 26. And I guess, yeah, it is confusing if you call the game Chapter 1. So they have their own Chapter 1, but there are 3 parts, we'll say. Since 3.18 got pushed back so far, does that mean 4.0 gets pushed back too? From their original predictions, yes, absolutely. They thought 4.0 was going to be in testing at the end of last year. I added a couple of quarters onto that and said it would probably be more in testing closer to the end of Q1 or Q2 of this year, and even that is pretty far off, and it probably won't be until this time next year that we're seeing it testing. Or maybe by the end of the year in Evocati, but I don't know. You have 2 questions. What kind of recording software do I use? OBS. How much RAM do I have? 64 gigs. 3080 Ti. Ryzen 5950X. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys watch the Vulture trailer one more time because I'm going to the bathroom. All this waiting. So I'll be right back. Enjoy, folks.
Folks, they see a wreck, and they just see a bunch of junk. Not you, though. You see a gold mine. You don't bother with a big, clunky rig. You don't need to. That's you, a wrecking crew of 1. Doing it your way. One crew's wreck is another pilot's riches. Stake your claim with the Vulture. Only from Drake.
I got distracted. Got into a conversation and all that. How was it? Was it even better the second time? I hate autoplay. I'm sorry. I never turn it on. What is this? Are they showing naked people on my thing? Get out of here. Are we going to get into the game, folks? Is it going to happen today? This is why I was like, it's like, just keep it on PTU. At least we can still play 317. If you play Star Citizen a lot, 64 gigs is worth it. It's mainly for the video editing, to be honest. I use a lot of video editing stuff, and 64 gigs really starts to help. And the GPU really start to help when rendering and all that jazz. But I also just kind of had a lot of RAM sitting around. So I had 32 and I got gifted 32 of the same type. And I did all the testing on the timings and it said they were good. So I was like, okay, 64 it is. It's usually better the second time. I'll tell you, I've watched that engineering video like 3 times now. I'll probably watch it 3 more times before writing a script. Why are we getting this error? Hey, Keenan. Pretty cool. Same name. Their servers are really struggling. They're getting hit with a lot of load right now. And we're all sitting here hitting launch game over and over and over again. And it's hurting them. You have 2 kilobytes of RAM? What is that? Are you on a 15-year-old phone? Even if you get in, you can't spawn a ship. Luckily for me, I hate ships. Yeah, I have a feeling I'm probably not going to play today. But that's cool. It's about the journey, right? We could probably do a marbles run while we're waiting. When's the last time we played marbles? Do I even have Steam on here anymore? Let's see. If not, maybe I can download it real quick. Alright, don't put me on blast with my game choices, jeez. Just tell everybody every game I have, jerk. Nah, that's cool. I got decent taste. But we are looking for marbles on stream. Where is it? 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 Update. Alright, we'll update it real quick. It's probably gonna hurt the stream a little bit. Nope, we're doing okay. We'll do a little race then. You had to delete your PTU folder that allowed you to get successfully logged in on the live server. I've heard that. I have heard that. Love Dying Light. I haven't gotten to play the second Dying Light yet. Do really like the first one though. Wait, do I own the second one? Did I buy this game? Okay, maybe I need to give it a try. I didn't even know I owned it. What? Must have just gotten drunk one night, you know, blacked out and bought a game. Not actually. I don't do that. I actually have to transfer my money into our Turkish debit card in order to buy games on Steam. If you have marbles on Steam, you are legit. Well, we're about to play. Unfortunately, that only allows people on Twitch to get into the race, so I will advise people if they are on YouTube and want to race on a marble, maybe hop on over to Twitch for this part. I don't want to delete my PTU folder. I really don't. Because the next time we have a PTU, it's going to take me forever to download it. And I know I'm going to look back on this moment and be like, man, you shouldn't have deleted that. Hey, serious. Who names their country after a funny bird? Believe it or not, they didn't name their country Turkey. Turkey is what English-speaking people named it. The Turks call it Turkey. Monstratus! Welcome to the stream. Was watching on YouTube but want to play marbles. Nice. Thanks for dropping the sub. Thank you, Paytac. We are doing okay here. After getting that login error, you used the quit command from the console and restarted the launcher and got in on the second try. All right. Let's see if I can use the console. What is it? Just quit? Hey, look at that. Have I tried moving the PTU folder somewhere else? No, I haven't tried that. I'd rather move it somewhere else than delete it, that's for sure. Don't know how the card went through. He's in debt? Who's in debt? I do have a PTU folder, Gun Alley. Turkish coffee is so strong. Oh my gosh, I remember when I first came over here. I already don't like coffee. Like literally a macchiato. A freaking, what are they called? A mocha is too much coffee for me, right? So I came over here and they're like, oh, try this Turkish coffee. You're gonna love it. It's gonna make you love coffee. You'll never wanna drink anything else. It's freaking terrible. Made my throat feel like ass. Do I like Idon? No, unfortunately I am also not a huge yogurt fan. Now, I will say this, both of those things here, if you like those things, coffee and yogurt, great place to come, Turkey. But if you're like me and you don't, it's not as great. That being said, literally everything else they make is delicious, so I don't mind. It's so good, I got freaking baklava tattooed on my body, all right? So take it from me. I've gotten to test this food out for quite a while now, and I can confirm it is delicious. Hey, Keno. No luck on my end. Plenty of people in chat are getting into the game, though. How did I bleep myself live? I got a little button for it. It's part of the entitlement processing that CIG puts you through. They say that you have to be family friendly. So, you know, it's the whole thing. I'm totally kidding, by the way. Please don't take me seriously. You have a friend from Turkey says they got some of the best food in the world. Amen. They actually, there was this company that does rankings of food on Twitter, or I guess on their website, and they post to Twitter as well. And I came across one of their posts, and it was saying the best sandwiches in the world, and the number one was from Turkey. But instead of naming the sandwich, they just named the bread. And I didn't know if I had had it before, so we went and actually got one today for lunch, and it was very good. Very good. I wouldn't say definitively the best sandwich in the world, but Turkish food is incredibly delicious. You called Idon Idag in Mongolia. It's one of your favorite in the world. Be Mongol, dude. How's it going, man? What just happened to my music? Good to see you in chat, man. Well, guys, I'm 0 seconds away from getting in, so I don't know. Oh, Cody, did you just make a Twitch account? Nice, dude. Going all across the internet today, huh? Join me now. Let's go to Etsy. No, Pinterest. Even better. Tell us the name of the sandwich. Maybe we can order it too. Well, the bread is called tombik. The sandwich itself is a doner sandwich with that specific type of bread and all the other goods on it. Making something dope, B? Making something which way? Video, graphic, shirt design. B Mongol makes amazing designs, by the way, folks, if you don't know him. Dude, you need like a website or something I could point people towards for your stuff. Makes awesome designs, cool wallpapers. In fact, this wallpaper that I have is by B, and he does it for all kinds of ships in Star Citizen if you're looking for either a desktop or a sort of mobile phone kind of style. Check him out. The only place I know is on Twitter, so I'm going to tell him to go to Twitter/BMongol. But it's worth trying out. It's worth checking out. He makes good stuff. Look at all you getting in there. Rummaging your way into the server. I'm just holding the door open. That's what I'm going to say I'm doing. That's why I don't get in. Hey, Solo Fox. Doing all right. How are you? What's the artist name? B Mongol. In the chat, like 2 messages below you. Or above you. There needs to be some sort of casual work, not like cargo or bounty hunting, something planet tied. Like missions in cities and outposts. And an ants, you got into the game, almost got to your ship, but then the game died. Whew. So even if you're getting into the game, it can still give you some trouble. How is the Turkish delight here? It's good. It's just not as good as the baklava. Nothing beats baklava. Nothing. It's crazy. Like 6-7 years ago or so, I was on vacation with my family and they got baklava for dessert at a meal and I wouldn't even touch it. I was like, it's got nuts in it? No way. I don't want that. That's gross. I'm not going to have that. Walnuts? Ew, I hate walnuts. I actually like pistachios, but I hate walnuts. And then I moved to Turkey and I lived with my wife's family and I started to eat more of the food and eventually I tried baklava. Oh man. And it was one of the most life-changing bites of food I've ever had. Folks, I came to Turkey. And in less than 8 months, I gained 40 pounds. I honestly, I say that and I can't even believe it. Just, I've never really changed that much in weight. I've always stuck around ever since I was probably around 18 or so. I've always been around 160 to 180 pounds. And and it was nuts. It was gnarly. So I got it tattooed on my body to never forget. But also, that was just like an awakening of good food for me. And I am obsessed with walnut baklava, and I don't like pistachio baklava. It's very weird because I don't like walnuts. It's not the food, it's the amount. Yeah, I had a lot of baklava. I do go to the gym. We couldn't go to the gym back then because gyms here don't open until 9 a.m., which is crazy. But we ended up getting our own stuff that we could use down here in our house. So we are able to get some stuff going. Hope to go to Japan one day. Medic, it was definitely the sugar. Yeah. Watching some guy in a beard explain a fix for the 19K glitch. What's he saying? I'm not exactly African American, no. My parents are from the Caribbean, so it always depends on how far back you want to look, but over the last several generations, my parents or my family has been either born in America, North America, or in the Caribbean, which is technically still North America. But different mixtures and stuff. I've actually got like 11% Irish in me, which, given history, makes a little sense. How did I lose the pounds? Just working. Back to normal sort of like eating habits and getting in the gym for our own place. Jamaica, Nevis, and St. Kitts. Looks like he's talking about something to do with incognito mode. Somebody did say that, yeah. Opening it with an incognito patch or tab or something like that. I'm still processing my entitlement, so we'll see. Your family's from St. Martin and Anguilla. Nice. It's crazy how many people come from the area. There's so many places there. You don't realize how many people actually live in that small amount of space. Sort of like, I don't know I guess the Caribbean Sea, really, all the way down to South America. Let me try logging out. I don't know why. Let me just try it. Makes me feel like I'm doing something, like when you used to blow in the Nintendo 64 cartridge. You're like, yeah, that did it. That did it. Now it's gonna work. And it's your positivity that makes it work. Just gotta believe. People don't read or just want to listen that there ain't nothing you can do. Yeah, I mean, you always want to try something else, like I said, just to make yourself think you're doing something. Is the only way to get in just to keep trying? Yeah, really, just wait or keep trying and see if it happens. Took a cruise to St. Kitts. I've never actually been there. I've been to Nevis one time, but I've never been to St. Kitts. You can basically see it from the same island. We do way too much to play this. That's why I try to tell people, don't play it if you're not ready for this. Even in my new player's guide that I'm gonna put out probably next week, I make it very clear in that video. I'm like, this is gonna be buggy, it's gonna be glitchy, it's not gonna be fun. Please don't play it if you're not looking for that. You have two-step verification on, but you're not getting this authentication people are talking about. I also have two-step verification on. I usually have to use my what's it called? Actually, where is my phone? I got the app on my phone. And patience, yeah, you really need patience. Let's see. You have to do it from the website. Have to do what? Just log in? All right. Just waiting for this to finish updating. Have you noticed that quantum traveling takes longer in this new PU update? Hey, if I was in the update, I might. Maybe. When SC releases, what is going to be your main style of gameplay? I want to be a data broker. That's my dream. I want to be a 30% exploration, 70%. Okay, 30% exploration, 30% data broker, 20% still having a hand in my organization. You tried the incognito thing, it didn't work, and all the comments said it didn't work. Well, hey, chat said it did. Hello from Germany, or yes, that is. Wait, no. Belgium. I thought I recognized that flag, but whoa, what's going on outside? Wow, that's pretty cool. Hey, that's pretty neat. There's it's like very, oh man, maybe I can turn the camera and show you guys. It's like very, very lightly raining outside, but the sun is setting, so it's just glowing yellow. Hold on, let me see if I can try to show you. Don't mind my messy room. Careful. Very glowy. You guys could also totally just see how close that mosque is. So now you have an idea of why it's so loud. But it looks really, I don't think the camera did that justice. It looks really cool outside right now. Yeah, I'm in Turkey. All right, launching again. Just realized I'm not looking at any of the chats, so I can't tell if somebody's doing stuff. Water tower. I wish it was a water tower. It'd be a lot quieter. Greetings out to Netherlands. Yeah, the view is very cool. It's a very nice view. Did I feel a few shakes a few weeks ago? No, I did not. If you're asking about the earthquakes, I am not near where the earthquakes were in Turkey. Where am I going to set my starting planet? For this update, I'm in R-Corp. There he is! There he is. Yeah, there he is. That's his tower. Yeah, they need to fix the clouds rendering. It's very, like, just mushy out there, you know? Technically, I am working in Turkey. This is my work. This is Space Tomato Gaming as a whole, across the website, the YouTube channels, the stream, Patreon. All that is me and my wife's entire income. So this is our work, and this is what we do while we're over here. Yeah, Call to Prayer comes from that tower, and it's right there. We live in Turkey because my wife's from here originally, and we needed to move here a few years back after someone passed a certain executive order that caused certain problems. Managed to turn this into your career. Love your content and personality. Thank you, Fraser. Appreciate you. It was a big decision. It was definitely a big turning point, a big change in our lives, and something that we still, you know, we deal with both the complications and the benefits of making that decision at that time. Yeah, it's a huge change, and it's something that we'll probably see for years after this. No, Lone Crusade, it wasn't exactly that. It was a little bit different. Same idea, but different way of doing it. It was not a legal thing, what they did. Nova, how you doing? All right, so I did the incognito thing, and it's not working. When you first started watching, you think I still lived in Florida. I never streamed from Florida before. I didn't start doing this until we were in Turkey. I did a couple videos when I was still in Florida, but for the most part, I didn't start it until, because I was still working as an engineer in Florida. I didn't have time to be doing this. I think this is probably going to be my last try, because it's just not happening. Third time today, you got an instantly. You're not having any issues that I have. Tolga, bless you. I'm happy for you. That's awesome. Oh yeah, we could do some marbles. You're right. You're right. Cheaper quality of yeah, the cost of living is definitely more affordable in Turkey if you're not making liras. Turkey has a very struggling economy right now. Hello, Tampa. Reese, you getting in all right? That's that California entitlement you have there. You schnobs. You opened up your spot for me. No, take your spot. Keep your spot, please. Somebody's got to be winning here. This is a zero-sum game, and somebody's got to be making the most of it. Gotta go on the website to do the character repair. Oh, do you have to like do the character repair while you're still incognito? Because I did all that nonsense. You're in the live server. Nice. Solid. I am most certainly not. Come on, we can do this. All right, let me try this one more time, verifying. Yeah, I don't think anything really actually works. I think just trying is the only thing that works. Because the character repair is not something automatic. Well, it might be automatic. But what they've seemed to have said recently is that character reset was very taxing on their system, so they try not to do it a ton. So I imagine they're probably not allowing a bunch of character repairs right now either. Thanks for the posture reminders. Someone said using a VPN helps. I've also heard that. Let's do a quick race. Where are we on that marbles? All right, Steam is continuing to download other things, which is probably not helping my internet. Yeah, we dropped a few frames. Sorry about that. Let's play some marbles. first attempt. All right, we got a race to go. Let's pick a quick 2.5 minute, 3 minute, the gauntlet. I like it. Let's race on the gauntlet, folks. All right. Oh, what is this? Why is there Halloween themes here? Oh my God, look at all those names. Oh my gosh, what have I done? Who are these people? What's going on? That's not us. That's not our group. Wow. Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and not do this. Best game to learn piloting skills. Wouldn't it be cool if we had a Space Marbles game? Okay, let's try that again. Oh, geez, we have to do a whole bunch of stuff here, huh? There we go. Okay. All right. I believe you type in exclamation point. What is the command? Is it just play? Looks like you guys already got it. I think now I have to go and do this. Hold your horses, folks. Okay, now exclamation point play if you want to get in on this. Let's go. Let's race. And in the meantime, you stay busy, launcher. I have not tried Spaceborne 2. I haven't. I don't really play many games, to be honest. I want to get back into Hard Space Shipbreaker a lot. I miss that game. That was good times. Oh, they've released quite a few patches like this, Quick Nasty. It is the way. Honestly, I think they just didn't want to go past another week of saying that they were going to have it that week. You can't join from YouTube chat, so hop on over to the stream, the Twitch chat, if you want to play this. You should be... Oh, did we lose everybody? No. You should be able to get in if you just go down to the description of the video. It'll have a link to Twitch. I see y'all loading in. We're gonna get started soon here. Because you know, Star Citizen is about to load us into the game, so we've got to get going quick because we're gonna get into the game really soon, right? That's how this works, right? After delaying 3 months, waiting a weekend was no problem. Why release a failed patch instead of waiting a few days? I don't know, man. I don't have much respect for the people at CIG. Been following them for about 7 years. Probably for the sale next week. To be honest. Okay. We ready to go? There's quite a few people here. Was I able to load in? No. I'm getting entitled. I'm going to go ahead and launch this race, though, if you guys are ready. We're going to do the big drop. Coming in here. 3, 2, 1. Probably. Okay, now we're going. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Still entitled. 4, 3, 2. Still entitled. 1. And we're off. The race has begun. The people are going dropped into the bowl, the big bowl. Off their little potato wedge white thingies up here. I don't know, these look like French fry fingers. Headed straight down to the big whirlpool we go. Where are the names? I need names. I can't see who you are. Project Silver in first. Hanzo in first. D-Crime in first. Static Pop in first. There's so many people in first. Making it way down through the whirlpool. Up the whoop scoop, down the whoop scoop, getting split up, going through the little DNA corridor, we're calling it. The corridor of DNA shapes. Wow, somebody just freaking flew past. Holy crap. Where are you going? Where'd you go? Who are you? Why are you going so fast? Can I click on you? It's Volcarin. Volcarin is flying. This dude's got boost. He's got cheats. He's a hacksaw. But he's making good progress getting all the way down here to the Golf Tee Fun Jungle, we're going to call it. Running into a couple of little roadblocks there. No pun intended. Oh, somebody's gaining. Somebody is gaining. They're gunning for him. Who is that? Kythar. Kythar is coming, dropping through the big hole, and then down through the small. Don't make it sexual. In the whirlpool of death, and we see some others catching up too. Oh, it's getting mixed up. I like it. Another whoop shoot going down the side, splitting up, taking a couple turns around the circles. Got the Poets in the first, Shempasta close behind. Ravixi is up in there too. A lot of known names here. Quite the race, Jack. What do you say? Who do you think's coming out on top? Oh, I don't know, James, but it's looking pretty close here in the final stretch. The Walmart parking lot speed bump simulator. Oh, and it's a mix-up once again with Ravixi coming out front, dodging the golf tees, making the sweet run down another whoop shoop. Taking the snake turns, going all the way. I love it, Ravixi. Keep it going. Hanzo coming up right behind. Got a little bit of distance, but I don't know. It looks like he's turning on the gas. Ravixi's got to make the last jump. Does he make it over? He does. And oh no! He got thrown off the side. Ravixi is out of the race. Oof! Second place going over. Third going over. Fifth and sixth going over. Static Pop now taking the front, but getting quickly passed up by Shempasta, who jumped right over top. Very athletic of you, Shempasta. I appreciate it. Good job on the acrobatics. But it's still a close race with Volcarin coming in finally at the end to win it. Reese close behind and Kythar in third. Folks, a lot of folks just died. We just watched a lot of people die. I don't know how to feel about it. Should we do a sending off? Oh, man. My friends, it's a lot of close friends that we just lost in that marble race. Finishing up, though, here, we got Caleb in fourth, Wasby, RP Cal, Tumbra Wolf, Tolkien, Leonard, and Spanx in 10th, with a couple more finishing up. I'm glad to see that, maybe you didn't get first, folks, but you did survive. Who are you back here? Still pushing through, still doing good, Slow and... Oh. Never mind. Like, hey, you're doing okay, and then just went straight off the side. Yo, not bad, guys. I mean, if you finished, you finished. It's better than falling off the side and dying. Good job, everybody. Now, we're still not in the game. I have done all of the things. I have signed out, signed in, updated, re-authenticated, incognitoed, not incognitoed. Sacrificed my third butterfly aunt to my second cousin. I don't think I'm getting in. I'm too far. I see these kinds of problems when it comes to Twitch servers too. The closest Twitch server to me is in freaking Germany. It's like 6 countries away. Big Herm, some people are able to play it. Some aren't though. It's been like this since yesterday. Don't know if there's a skeleton crew manning the servers doing their version of Scotty from Star Trek. I mean, skeleton crew, it's whoever is getting worked overtime over the weekend. I hope they're getting overtime. We're too entitled. It's probably true. You're in the middle of the U.S. and can't get in? Well, I mean, what's in the middle of the U.S., right? No, I'm kidding. Completely kidding. Did you reset your launcher with Control-Alt-Shift-R? Control Alt Shift R. I don't know. Anytime there's a button combination with Alt included, I tend to not trust it. Kletchy, you were about to give up. Now you're in. Solid. Started getting the bug where easy anti-cheat was flagging on the driver for your Logitech pedals and wheels. Rude anti-cheat. The entitled joke isn't actually about entitlement. It's about the thing that pops up on the screen when you're loading in. It's legit, but didn't help you. Big Herm, entitlement processing is just part of the process. Hence the processing, I guess. You're just going to have to wait for that to end. Ramon, you're coming back on Monday? I'm probably going to give it another go tomorrow, but I honestly have time better spent. I might just start editing my video with you guys. You care to watch video editing work instead of getting into the game work? Because I could just pull up some Premiere Pro and we could finish the monthly report video right here on stream. I got to get that done anyways to release it tomorrow. Should get Mrs. Tomato to log in. 2 people in the household logging in. I'm sure that'll be better than 1. Got nothing better to do, so sure. CIG, you're robbing us of our better things to do. I actually don't know how much work I need to do on it. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Oh my gosh, this is a difficult game to quit. There we go. Ah, nice. Another 19,000. Entitled chat shout out in the credits. They better give us a huge shout out in the credits of Squadron 42. They're like, special thanks to all those entitled people who tested our game for a decade. What happened here? Why is the music missing? Gosh, I really don't like Premiere Pro's volume controls. Miserable. They are misery to use. So this is what a basic project looks like. This is what a standard monthly report looks like. Looks like we lost a song, of course. Up high. So now I have to go and find this music. It's very annoying when they do this to me. The music just disappears. Let's see. We're looking for a song by Curtis Cole. Oh, found it. Nice. Go there. Link the media. Find it in here. Boom. Okay. So I actually don't think I've really done much with the intro of this video. What are we doing? What are we doing? Character retrieval and readiness. All right. I don't know if I feel about editing video in front of people. It's gonna make me feel very self-conscious because I already don't like watching my videos. To my tomato talk. Ta-da! That's what it's like to edit. The sound just goes out. I also have this really dumb problem where it makes me open Creative Cloud every time I want the... Watch. I have to open this program for the font in this program to update. Check it out. Give it a couple seconds. It'll update. There it is. Oh, I love DaVinci Pro. DaVinci Resolve. Absolutely amazing program. Watch most of the video and agree with 99.9%. It's just not fun watching your own thing, you know? It's very... It can be off-putting. Like, I can do it most of the time. It's just... Right, because the fonts are linked to CC, but that wasn't the case before. Something happened where my software broke, and now I have to open that every time. Oh, maybe it's because it's not a startup program. That might actually be it. All right, I just want to see how this starts. Today, as always, we start off with AI. Bruh, we already did this. All right, hold on, I gotta close the window. We're just trying to listen to the monthly report, my dude. AI tech teams who build the technology that will eventually be used in future features. To start, the NPC transit feature we've covered in the last 2 reports has been completed. That was the call to prayer. NPCs to call for, wait for, and use trains and elevators. The team then moved on to improve. Actually, I want to use this clip a little bit earlier. Yeah, just like this. Improving NPC use of trolleys and carts, which could come into play when they eventually begin loading cargo onto your ships. Someday! The team also finished the base skeleton for small creatures like birds, fish, and rats to spawn into the game. Oh, yeah. See, there's definitely a shot we can get for this. So basically the way that this works, the way that I edit the videos, for non-exclusive videos, I'll do the editing for sound, music, and voice, pass it to an editor who helps pick from my B-roll collection, puts the clips on here, and then I come in and I clean it up with the shots that I want more specifically. So it's kind of a 4 to 5 day process. And it could be a bit much, but it makes for some solid videos. How much does the program cost? Is $200 a year, which is a freaking robbery in my opinion. Terrible, terrible. A lot of the times when I want to get a shot, like a specific shot, and I don't have the video, basically I just need to go to YouTube, go to their channel, and then go all the way back to wherever the video is that I'm looking for. This one would be in 2017, so we're going back quite a ways. And we would be hitting up, I think it would be, no, this is 2016 that I'm thinking of. Yeah, I'm thinking of 2016. So we would want to go here. Oh, I've used DaVinci Resolve. I am a huge DaVinci Resolve stan. I actually started on DaVinci, but because my editor uses Premiere and my graphics guy uses After Effects, I'm stuck on Premiere for now. But I am going to start to make moves to make sure I can use both of those things on DaVinci still. So this is what we're looking for. This shot right here. Blow it up, open OBS, and record.
And as I said, one of the things we're working on is fauna. So, so these are the Oni, the Cypherpod Oni crabs. So they're little scavengers on...
which are still not in game, Chris. And then I just find the file that I saved. grab it. Dude, this is the most annoying part of the editing process, to be honest. Drag it in, make sure it's not an MKV, it is an MP4. Remove the audio from that clip. And then find a spot where we want it. Base skeleton for small creatures like birds, fish. And then drop it in. And you do that a couple hundred times and you got a video. And rats to spawn into the game and move around in contextually accurate locations. The team also continued working on the AI Pathfinder abilities. As we've covered recently, the tech team is working to build in natural affinities for pathfinding. So things like water and fire will be assigned a negative point value, while a sidewalk will be a positive one. So NPCs will calculate these values when navigating the universe and look for the path with the most points available. Moving on to the AI tools team, shouldn't be too hard to have a resolve to Premiere workflow. It's not too difficult. The main problem that I was having before is this right here. So Premiere has this very useful library tool where if I have something that I want to do on the screen, the person who does my graphics does it in After Effects, loads it into my library, and boom, it's right here on my screen every time I want to do something. I can just drag it in, and it is... there we go. It is immediately in there. I can change the text to whatever I want. Poopy face. Like, it updates the actual animation for it and everything. So it's really nice to be able to have that. I can change the timing for it and all that stuff. And that makes it hard to get away from Adobe products. And they know that. That's why they do it. It's just, it's harder to do that in DaVinci when you're working with somebody who does After Effects. Can I watch this SC video and skip to 140 and tell you what the smaller fighters are? 140. Oh, I think they're blades. Oh no, this is Scimitar, I think. Vandul, or is that bigger than that? It might be bigger. Actually don't know what that ship is. Fire your graphics guy. For anybody who's wondering, B-Mongol is the graphics guy. So I mean, you know, if that's the answer, if that's what you gotta do. Yeah, I don't know if we know specifically what that ship name is. That would be one for Astropub, to be honest. If you really want to know where those ships come from, Astropub would be the one to ask. Oh, Stinger. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, I think it might be this ship. This might be the updated version of it. But I'm not sure. Not sure at all. Void? No, Void is huge. Yeah, I think it might be the Stinger, but I don't know. Will Crevens, thank you. Star Citizen is broken for millions of people. There is a bug logging in related to user accounts. Oh, I know. As someone who has never played the game before, do you think it's a good time to get into the game or should you wait? Right now, specifically, would be a very bad time. But in like a couple of weeks, yeah, it's a good time. Not for somebody who's looking for a fully featured game though. Like, you definitely want to know what you're getting into. It's a rough experience, even on the best of days. You know what? I'm over editing this. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to even focus on it. But we got a little bit into it. We did like 2 minutes. So there's that. Yeah, today is a very bad time to try and get into the game. But maybe in the next few weeks, you'd be better off. Might actually be better to wait for 319. After the Invictus Week Free Fly event, is probably when we'll have a good amount of player activity. We'll have some events going. They'll have probably improved stability a little bit more. And you'd be on a different patch, which is hopefully going to have a bolstered code branch. You're sure in a week at the most login will be fixed? Yeah, but I still think it's going to be pretty rough. Maybe not, but I think it could still be pretty rough for the next couple weeks. They sound like they want to get a few hot fixes out pretty soon. What are the most exciting near future stuff being implemented into the game? Lots of gameplay stuff, actually. Believe it or not. Gameplay stuff is doing pretty well recently. I think the biggest thing that is seeming most imminent at this point would be vehicle tractor beams, which are wrapping up as far as the scheduled work is. But the Argo SRV, which is probably going to be our introduction to tractor beams, is going through a no-go meeting in March to decide whether or not it's going to get into the game. And that's a pretty big deal. Besides that, engineering seems to be fairly close. I would say probably within the next 9 months, we could see something from engineering. Salvage is obviously coming in today. Mining is getting an update in 3.19. Cargo is probably getting an update in 3.20 or whatever they call it in October. Is there a specific place to look for salvageable ships? I would try the Yellow Asteroid Belt. Generally, there's a decent amount of stuff out there just because there's usually pirate activity. Ships dying. You had to wait long last night to get in, but right now you joined quickly. Might be the first login that takes long. Yeah, after you initially are able to get in, I've heard that it's not a problem. Any new info on the pyro system? When is the last time you heard info? Septic block. Oh, Board Gamer got his new player guide out. Ooh, we should react to Salty Mike reacting. I actually don't know what he thinks about engineering. I'm interested in hearing his thoughts on it, though. Quite a while ago, the last time you heard about Pyro? Well, there's definitely been a couple of updates fairly recently. I mean, not necessarily pyro, but definitely pyro-timed stuff. So, like, we saw some stuff about building interiors. I think this is probably something that will come closer to pyro. We got to hear a little bit about the new sound design of pyro. Not sure how interesting that'll be to ya, but it's worth checking out. And then before that, really, it was like we got a few short videos that took place in Pyro. These are actually pretty good.
So,
like if you look at, let's see, where's the part 7?
Come on.
Like these give you some pretty cool looks into.
If I
into the pyro system. This gives you a really cool peek at Ruined Station. Where the heck is it? This one? Yeah, get a look at Ruined Station with this shot. It's like barely anything, but it's still kind of cool to see.
No! No, 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 no. No. No, I mean, this cannot be happening to me. Hey, you, where are you, man?
Ruined Station.
You mean I'm still in Pyro?
This rate.
You guys want to watch the Salty Mike one? Second thought's cool. I like Second Thought, but I think only for like half the video. I don't know why I feel like it kind of gets very long, I guess. I don't know how to properly put it. Nothing against them as a creator. But I usually don't finish the whole video. I do like their channel though. You need someone to release a guide on login errors for 3.18. Good morning, Metaphysical. Okay, we could watch Salty. I feel weird reacting to somebody reacting. It feels very strange. I've never done this before. Any other games I'm addicted to? I really love Civ 6. Always a big Halo fan. I don't know, man. I talked to Mike a lot, and he's definitely got a lot of positivity about this game. It's generally, I think, dependent on who he's talking to or what he's talking about, but I don't see him banning people just for being positive. Deppa, thank you for the 10. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks so much for dropping in. I hope you're having a good day. All right, let's see what he has to say.
All right, let's watch ISC together, or I guess it's a Journey to 4.0 video titled Design Brief Engineer. And like I said earlier, yesterday we tried to guess what we thought we would see, what we would see. An engineer would not have been on my list because I thought it was pretty well shared. I can't say that on camera already, and they said it was something like new. So
for the record, I haven't always been a
streamer.
streamer.
Let's see what we get here.
I have interacted with all of these people before I was a streamer, and my relationship with them never really changed before or after. But yeah, what's going on with the game? You can't log in. Neither can I.
At CitizenCon 2952, we debuted a new recurring initiative called Journey to 4.0, where we stepped a bit away from our traditional weekly behind-the-scenes format of Inside Star Citizen to tell stories at various points of progression leading up to the next major milestone.
How creepy would that be if you waved back?
Continuing development after 3.18. And one of those more different within that batch were called Design Brief Investigations, where we looked at the earliest phases of a feature that only existed at that time in the text and crude diagrams of a planning document. And no, before you ask, don't ask to see the planning documents. It's all just fidelities and bespokes all over the place anyway. I'm kidding.
So,
someone else to watch a stream of me watching Mike. I actually did a tweet based on Salty Mike reacting to Montoya, who was reacting to Board Gamer. It's ridiculous. It's dumb. I actually don't particularly enjoy doing reaction stuff. That's why I only do them with like ISC and game trailers and things. I don't know how long I'm gonna last doing this. I don't really want to do it that much, so we'll see.
And ISC?
Mostly. So on this next Journey to 4.0, we're diving into another design brief that's been discussed, debated, kicked around, pitched, and repitched over the years internally, imagined and theory crafted for just as long by the community.
Quit interrupting
me. And has finally
me.
now been signed off by the multitude of game directors to become the next stage in the resource management system. So, without further ado, we present to you Design Brief Engineer, the next fundamental component of true multi-crew gameplay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Stop saying that. True modularity. Stop it.
But that's
And
different. That was a ship
fair
sale.
warning before the comments come in. Since this next step in the resource management, now called engineer gameplay system, exists mostly in design stage at this moment.
I can't help it, guys. It's weird. I feel like I'm talking to him, but he's not here. It doesn't make sense.
We did let Will, Dave, and Alex on the ISC capture team get creative in visualizing the stuff that's being discussed and that's still being built out by the developers at the moment.
Okay.
So what you're about to hear is still very much work in progress. But what you're about to see at times
Yo,
is
Grumpy.
the content of
Hey,
crazy people.
can you start up a stream real quick and react to this? This is can you react to my live reactions? And then I'd even open your stream and maybe we could I could then react to yours. Who is it that did that in the they had their comedy skit? Really, really good. It was during COVID. Can't remember. He just did a bunch of reactions to himself. Solid skit. Pretty good.
And
Thank you,
should
Commander
judge them,
Uwu.
because they're exactly
Thanks,
like
Commander
me.
Uwu.
All right, well, that's good. That I think he's setting the expectations pretty well.
All right, let's get into it, Mike. Come on.
Missed the toilet on Twitter yesterday.
You're being like me. You're taking forever.
Engineer. You, as the engineer, are responsible for the resource management of your ship, the priorities of the items, and you are also responsible for...
Torsten again. Jeez, he's a busy
Getting
man.
that screen time.
Salvage, mining, and now this.
countering any dangers that you might...
Yo, you just did a reaction to Montoya reacting to board? Nice, dude. I think Mike also did a reaction to them. I also did I was just saying I tweeted my reaction. Montoya said he'd cover it as another reaction. I'm definitely still having issues with the game, yeah.
Counter throughout your flight. A big part of your job as an engineer is dealing with dangers that affect the mechanical parts of your ship.
Okay, perfect. We're going to be lasering everything.
And are different to
engineering
the ones you
lasers
face as a pilot. There are 3 types of dangers that you will face as an engineer. One being something that you already know, which is overheating. The second being wear and tear. And the third one being malfunctions. So overheating is not only items running too hot, but it also is item running too cold. And the way that you can counter that is either actively or passively. Where passively is something that we already do with the cooler on your ship, and actively being something like
we definitely have to do more GeoGuessr. That was so much fun, dude.
Using your fire extinguisher to bring down the temperature of the item. And if it's too cold,
hey,
you can use
Mike,
a
you look really
flamethrower
bored.
or blowtorch.
Come on, man.
So wear and tear.
He heard me.
Okay.
There's a danger you might have.
I find that to be weird. I just find that to be weird.
No, you're weird. What did he actually? What did he say?
Eh?
What was it that was weird?
Use pressure to bring down the temperature of the item. And if it's too cold, you can use a flamethrower or blowtorch. So wear and tear.
No. It is. I mean, it is kind of weird. Of like, why would you want to heat up a component? But we'll see. I mean, maybe if you're actually in a place where it's too cold, like your ship is exposed to the elements and you don't have life support and it's just getting really cold in your ship, maybe like your components don't start up. I don't know. That is a weird one though. But I feel like it's probably just a product of the immersive sim element. They react to temperature change, whether it's hot or cold.
Okay. Weird. I just find that to be weird. I don't know.
Already heard us talk about in the
frozen ship.
If something runs too cold, it's basically like overclocking, right? Don't they if you're like really seriously overclocking, they use the like a little flamethrower to
I've never tried to cold start a diesel, but I have heard of it. And I imagine that starting a spaceship, especially with the way they talk about it in this video, is going to be kind of a little complicated. Flamethrower though? Could you imagine that? Hey, I gotta start my diesel up. It's a little frozen. Could you bring your flamethrower over, Todd? Yeah, thanks, man.
keep it at like a normal temperature so it doesn't freeze over or whatever, like liquid nitrogen stuff.
Oh, he said it.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think that's a little too much, but okay.
Past. It's just something.
Bro, that's the definition of
Star
Citizen.
The longer your item runs, the less efficient it will be at some point. So a general maintenance will be required to keep them up and running. And then there is the new one, which we call malfunctions, which we'll talk about later in more detail.
Okay.
But the way that you react as the engineer there is unique to each malfunction. All 3 dangers contribute to the health of the item, and have an impact on each other. So since the first two...
I think what we're missing here is like the passive nature of things that will likely be done in a UI that Jared very clearly at the beginning said they don't have.
Are quite easy to
grasp. Yeah, because a diesel engine works off of photo combustion, right? So like the colder it is, definitely the harder it's going to be as compared to a regular combustive gas engine. So like I understand if it gets really cold for diesel. That makes sense. How about hydrogen fuel though? Isn't hydrogen fuel stored pretty cold? Or is that just LOX? I know LOX is very cold. I don't know about hydrogen though.
Let's dive a bit deeper into the malfunctions.
Just blowing it.
Different items in different situations cause different errors. And while I can't talk about all of them today, here are some currently in development. There's disconnect, where you either don't have a relay right now in the place, or you don't have the item right now at the item
preheating
port.
Hydrogen.
Then there is power drop.
Disconnect's cool because you could board a ship and disconnect the cooler and take them down.
Where
you're right,
or the required amount of power doesn't reach the item. Then
FOIP is never going to be good.
I think
always going to be troll. You see this?
I think hydrogen's stored as a gas in these ships.
Gonna be troll, dude.
Actually, it might be a liquid. I don't know.
Then there is misfire, where wear and tear impacts the functionality.
I actually have no idea how it's stored or transferred in this game.
Where
cloggage
resources are
this is the toilet, isn't it?
Prevented from reaching your item. There's also power surge, where high energy reaches your item. And
I love I love the way the face changes.
There's also power surge, where high energy reaches your item and will negatively affect the function of the item. And then there is leakage.
Like how they're also clearly censoring him on the toilet, but it's absolutely obvious he's just wearing the underwear. Liquid hydrogen is negative 253. Yeah, so are they doing it at... If they're doing it at a low temperature like that, then like, I don't know. Honestly, I think we're probably getting too deep into it at that point. But yeah, I have no idea if they're running it at liquid or gas temperatures or what. Almost has no energy density at room temperature. Okay, so it's liquid. Yeah, I don't know. I have never... Like in my experience, it was basically solid fuels and then liquid oxygen was all that I ever really learned about. Never really got to get into hydrogen as a fuel source, but I know it has gained a lot of popularity over the last several decades.
Negatively affect the function of the item.
Not a lot, but something.
And then there is leakage, which is similar to cloggage, where resources won't reach your item, but the cause is a little bit different. Then we have unresponsive, where you as the engineer try to communicate certain changes on the item and they will not reach the item. There is bugged, where like we have the most experience with being creative, so be surprised for what comes your way. And then lastly, we have destroyed, where you just lost your item. Bug can also be caused by hacking or being tuned incorrectly.
Hey!
It's a lot of information being thrown at you at once, but it's all like very vague at the same time.
Yeah, because we don't even see the UI or anything like that.
So that's a lot. It's like a lot being thrown at you at once.
Why?
You're right.
Do we introduce malfunctions?
Is this how I'm supposed to react to him? Just talk to him.
The reason is,
I think the visuals, unfortunately for me, distracted from like the information that you want to hear, but at the same time, they want to have some fun. Go ahead.
Quite simple. It's something that you know from your real life. Like after a while, certain things start to malfunction. So you better pay attention to those malfunctions and know how to react to those. So your job as an engineer is preventing those malfunctioning from actually happening, or preventing the the dangers that they create on your ship. And if you don't react in time, you might end up with cascading of errors that will in the end lead to the failure of your ship. It allows us to have the engineer being as important on bigger ships like the pilot or the gunner. We want to make sure that there's plenty of things to do for you as an engineer.
Okay, agreed. But there can't be too many things to do. Like, if the engineer has plenty of things to do all the time, then it's ridiculous, right? I think it's a weird thing where they should have things to do when things happen, but just because the ship is like flying around doesn't mean that you should constantly have to be moving things around or like barotrauma is too much.
What did he just say? What? Huh? What? Barotrauma? What is that?
Is like barotrauma.
What is? Oh, it's a game? Okay, I've never heard of that.
Is too much. Right?
I think he's right. Like, you don't want to be constantly doing things just for the sake of doing things, but like we went over this video earlier in the stream, and it's definitely kind of, it seems like you either need to make sure to do the work that you need to do beforehand, or if you don't do that well, then you're going to have to pay and do more of it later on, which is sort of how combat is. Like, if you don't do your loadouts and your components and all that stuff right with combat, you're going to pay for it later on and have to make up for it. Seems to be the way that most of these professions are going.
Sea of Thieves style? I think so, where, you know, things function, but then when you do come across and experience, get into a fight or whatever, I think that's where... What about preventative maintenance? Of course, that would be great. I just mean, and I don't think that this is their plan, but when he does say they would have tons of things to do, I just don't think it should be all the time, like consistently. But we'll have to see.
You don't want to have little to do, but you also don't want too much. There's definitely a balance in gameplay of giving somebody stimulation without overwhelming them. And I think that's what he's saying. You know, you want to have points where you can get a rest, sit down for a bit. Like if I'm a miner, I'm not mining the whole time I'm in the ship. I'm doing other things on the ship. And then when we get to the mining place, that's when I start to take my job more seriously. And I think it should probably be the same way for engineers to some extent too. You should have down periods for sure.
Your job as the engineer is also understanding the items. And that means you have to understand the different states an item can be in. States are basically stages for the items inside your ship, where each item has its individual stages or states it can be in, where, for example, you can have items that have a boot up phase. Then they have, that is followed by an ignition phase, where you have to ignite something so that it is going into the idle state, where it is basically waiting to go into the active state, where it starts to produce the resources that you actually need. Then from that active state, it will probably, or some items might go into the prime state, where you have to fire something out. The example is here an EMP. That can then go into a cooldown state, where you basically have to wait for the item to cool down again and then to be restarted or turned off. This adds a new level of complexity to you.
Yeah, it does.
There definitely should be times when you're going all in on the engineering, just not 100% of the time in the ship itself. Destrophic, thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 6 months on. Very nice. You're going to wait to try and tomorrow, Punji? Yeah, dude. I think this might be a Sunday game.
And it can be interesting, or it can be overcomplicated. So we'll have to see. The game's already quite difficult to get involved in, and then I worry sometimes that this is complexity for complexity's sake.
as the engineer.
Instead of
where
it
you
actually
not only
being
have
fun?
to pay attention to the danger.
And that's why we'll just have to see. Like, this is cool to hear this at this stage, but
I'll
I
be
think
right
it's
back.
always safer as a Star Citizen fan to get more excited about a feature like this when the feature is actually being added to the game, and whatever difficulties they've had implementing any of the things that they would like to do are cut, changed, all that stuff. I just can't imagine that this is exactly how it'll come in, personally. But
the malfunctions, when they appear or where they appear, is also important on which item they appear and in which state the item currently is. Because depending on the state the item currently is where the malfunction happens, it might end up you having to switch the item to a different state to be able to fix the malfunction or counter the malfunction, or even turn off the item.
I will say this, I do agree with him on that. I think that some of this stuff will change before we get it in game. Specifically on the malfunction side, I think the bugs and stuff is a good idea. But in practice, it's probably going to take some finicking, some mixing up. But that's the nice part about being able to do this. Could you guys imagine if they were trying to get all of these different things into the game and then introduce everybody to all of this at beta? And be like, hey, it's feature complete. Come and try the game out. Whatever feedback you have, we'll try to act on it, but we can't change it too much because it's in beta. It's feature complete. I am so glad that for a game like this, we actually get to help in the actual production stage of the features because, geez, there are so many ways that this stuff could be made really, really unfun that at least we can throw a fit about in the meantime. Just to kind of bring it to their attention, not even to change the stuff specifically. It's just nice to know that before all of this is finalized, we will be able to get our hands on it to at least see it and get some feedback in for them.
Completely, because the current state requires you to restart the item completely. And yes, for some things, it is as simple as turning them off and on
I knew
again.
he was going to say that by his smirk.
All of this we do to make the engineering gameplay more engaging. We still want to allow players to maintain their ships on their own, but especially for bigger ships, we really want to introduce meaningful interactions.
Hey, Todor.
So that you decide to have several engineers on your
Mech, you got in on your first try. Bless you. I'm happy for you.
Ship. And for that, we introduced the 3 types of hats that you can wear as an engineer.
Several
Tyrus.
3 basic engineering types are tuner,
sheesh, Mike,
mechanic,
Tyrus, how you doing?
And manager. So the tuner is the person that is responsible for your strategic.
Okay. Before we even get into this, and I'll back it up a little bit. There is a 0% chance that when engineering is added to the game, it has all of the things that he's talking about right now. A 0% chance. Literally none. So, like the tuner.
To be honest, I'm less concerned about engineering itself having all these features and more concerned with these features working in every ship when engineering comes out. Whatever basic version of this that we get, tier 1, actually, I think this would be tier 0, depending on the team who's making it, because this is all EUPU team. Tier 0 obviously won't be complete. Which ships will it be possible in, though? That's my big question.
He's going to say what it is, but we know that there's going to be like the ability to tune your components and tweak them and things like that. So I imagine that would play a role, but I can't see that being like our engineering tier 0. So these are arbitrary roles not set in stone. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. to be fair, not a single thing that they're saying is going to be set in stone. It's their internal design document that they're sharing in video form, basically.
The person that is responsible for your...
Yeah, it is kind of overclocking.
Decisions. The tuner is responsible for setting up the items in advance depending on what you want to achieve with your ship. So if you want to go exploring, you ask the tuner to bring the items into a state.
Todor, there are some people playing the game. It's really just up to luck whether you get in or not. Obviously, I'm not getting in. So it depends. Yeah, solo players are going to struggle in big ships with this. Made a video about that back in November, if you want to check it out.
That they are less prone to wear and tear, that they sustain longer, that they can or are more energy efficient or resource efficient. The tuner...
I don't like that. Personally, I feel like it's as simple as choosing the right component then.
Defines item groups.
I thought there's supposed to be no classes. They're missing some key context here. Previously, when they've discussed the engineer role, they talked about
relays.
Oh, what is it? Permissions on a ship? So these players would have permissions to do that stuff.
Base resource consumptions. Responsibilities.
African, I already tried that method. I think really it's just going to be up to luck at this point. I don't think there's anything that we can do to make it more likely to get in.
Roles on your ship, as well as setting new min and max performances for all the ship items you have. So overall, the tuner is a very proactive role where we want to reward players who plan their crew activities in advance. We did plan the tuner to be more relevant in advance of your adventures, but I'm sure players will figure out ways to make use of the tuner in various scenarios.
Maybe we'll have to hear more.
You wear as an engineer is the mechanic. The mechanic plays into your fantasy of what you imagine when you think about sci-fi and the role as an engineer. It's like in Star Trek terms, the person running around or crawling through the Jeffries tubes to fix any item, or in Star Wars terms, Chewbacca handing you the Hydro Spanner to fix up the Millennium Falcon. You are responsible for fixing fuses, figuring out what the details of the malfunctions are. You are analyzing the situation on site. So you're going through all the rooms, finding the item that you were just called out on that needs maintenance, needs repair. Depending on the item or the situation, you as the mechanic have to react individually to it, which can be a minigame-like character.
Yeah, the face was good.
You have to fix something that is unique.
Oh, more guys,
to the
I'm still going.
That you are facing.
Still trying.
The manager uses the engineering screen to analyze your state of the ship, and they dispatch mechanics or the tuner where need arises, and can even assist with...
It seems very, very odd, that role. Like, you dispatch mechanics. This is so hard for me to visualize right now, even though they're trying to.
Fixing.
Yeah, the one role that I am also not so sure about is the manager role. I understand that you're sitting at the engineering station and you're looking over everything and finding the problems, but that also feels like something the mechanic's going to be doing already. When you're talking about a manager dispatching mechanics, I'm thinking like you're in a javelin, right? Like you're in a javelin in the middle of a battle with Xenothreat. When else are you going to be dispatching multiple mechanics across your ship? Maybe something Carrack sized or like 890 sized, but you're getting into really big ships by the time you're talking about having somebody who's always at the engineering deck and then somebody else who's always running around the ship. But we'll see. We'll have to see how they build this out when it comes to the relationship between these three roles. I think the gameplay itself is sounding really good. The roles do sound like they complicate things. So I agree. It's going to be interesting to see how that stuff works. Most ships don't even have the space or for multiple people doing that stuff, so you thought that one takes multiple roles. I mean, like, most people don't have the space for multiple people to be on, like, the engineering screen? Yeah, that's how it will scale for sure. Which is why maybe you don't have to worry so much about this stuff overcomplicating it if you're in a smaller ship. Your tuner and mechanic are the same person, and they don't need a manager because there's an engineering screen and like 3 components 10 steps away. I think with smaller ships, CyberRat, this means you have to do less. But then it's kind of interesting that I guess it makes sense that they would introduce all of these roles even if not everybody will need them. Would have been nice for him to talk a little bit about that. Not only large ships have the engineering console, there are several small ships that you can find small consoles for engineering in them. And they'll probably have them added, or maybe it'll be something that you access in your mobiGlas.
Certain malfunctions.
It's 7 a.m.
They
in
manage
Austin.
the resource consumption via the presets, the tuner, prepared, or manually controlling the resource distribution. And they work together with the bridge crew to ensure a successful operation of your ship.
Yeah, maybe when you're dispatching AI mechanics. Moving forward, okay.
I'm really happy that I'm actually sitting here and explaining you all the things.
I feel like that's when the salt really leaks through. He reads something on the screen, he's just like...
that I just described to you, because the entire process that we had to run through was daunting, to say the least.
Yeah, Salty has plenty of positive takes. To be honest, it generally depends on who he's talking with, I think. I have tons of great conversations with Salty. Check out any of our podcast episodes together. It's always a good talk. And I think in these, he also has tons of stuff that's positive to say. It's just nuanced. He goes back and forth. He's not actually fully salty.
We are touching so many bases with so many teams. So it's a lot of meetings, a lot of discussions, a lot of different opinions of what the engineer should be.
Have you ever played Barotrauma? The manager basically is calling out what's wrong and navigating the focus of the problems. Yeah. Co-pilot role? Maybe? Like, that's the thing that I struggle with. I feel like maybe it's just the naming of it. I don't know.
And now we have it written down, we have it nailed down, we know what we want, we have defined goals, what the gameplay actually should be about, and everyone agrees. So that allows us now
to move
forward fast and deliver the feature that we all have been waiting for. You, me, everyone, like Jared. It's something that we are really looking forward to, how it will play out, how you as a player will interact with the entire system, what you like, where you will bring your ships that you own and what you can make out of them, how different they will actually.
I believe he means faster than before they agree on everything, guys. We all know fast is not what they do.
Feel to what they are right now in terms of stock versus you have the perfectly tuned ship for your demands. And this might come sooner than you think. This is the good news about it, because it all ties in with all the resource network work or resource management work that we have been doing so far.
Which all of us think is really far away, though.
To work on it right now. So it is in active development. And I don't want to do any promises when you will see it, but we are doing our very best that you will be able to try it out sooner than later.
Okay.
No dates. But it's really cool. So, what did we learn here this week?
Right there. He's just like, oh my gosh.
So, what did we learn here this week? Well, we learned that the hopes and dreams of multi-crew players everywhere are taking their next major step forward right now as resource management evolves into engineer gameplay. that the design spoken
I
about here today
don't think that it's going to be a loading screen between Pyro and Stanton. But it's also... Loading screen is a little disingenuous because it will be a loading period. They'll be loading something in. It just won't be an uninteractive screen when it does it.
People who stepped up to make this week's episode possible now. And don't worry, you know we're going to be back to show you how Engineer gameplay is actually progressing later this year. Engineering's the thing that brought me into the project, and I'm as excited as ever about what's being shared here. And as for Alpha 318, I'm being told, yes, there's a message in my ear. I'm being told that it's today. Has it happened yet? It's
oh, no.
going to happen. Well, which one is it? You can't tell me because there's nothing in my ear, and we recorded this on Wednesday.
Wait, it works because we're watching it today.
We like to have fun. Check the website and socials for details. And thanks for watching the latest in our journey to 4.0. We'll be back with more Inside Star Citizen
We
next
watched
week.
these on
So
Friday.
until then, I'm Jared Huckabee, and I don't have an outro for these J24 specials. Leave one in the comments. That'll be good.
I'm sure you'll get plenty of good comments.
Oh, so I don't know. My
Tell
take
me.
from that is
Tell
it's
me, Mike.
Too early. Too early.
You know what? I don't exactly disagree with that. Not because they don't know what they're doing. Like, obviously, they have a pretty good idea of the next steps for this. More so just because the road to 4.0 stuff is... It feels like callbacks to old Around the Verse when we would hear about things that were further out. I quite like the Inside Star Citizens we've been getting, especially with the sprint reports, where we're only hearing about stuff in the next couple patches. If this was coming in a 3.19 patch in July, then I'd be like, okay, solid. But I don't think it is. I think this is probably coming more in like a 3.20 patch in October, or a 3.20.3 patch in December, or a 3.21 patch in March. I don't know. It does feel like it's a little bit farther out, though, than I would have assumed, since this is a design brief. But, yeah.
If we look at the mining design doc that we have, it's not the experience that I have yet. It's changed quite a bit from there. I imagine once the implementation truly starts, and we do see what we would be getting in... whatever their version of soon is from this video, that it will probably feel a little bit different from a lot of the things that we heard today, because it will not be completely done. And we'll have to see. I guess the weirdest thing to me was the flamethrower part, the heating things up that are too cold. But there are some cold planets.
Catch a way to Rev.
Maybe that's a real thing. I don't know, man. It just seemed complex for complex sake, but we'll have to see what ends up happening. We'll have to see.
I quite like
That's just where I'm at with that.
I like it, man.
I'm gonna wait and see on the engineering thing. I'm not getting excited.
Okay.
Too much.
We'll talk about it. Yeah. I'm gonna have a show with him at some point soon, and we'll talk about this stuff. Talk about his rude reaction. No, it was cool. It's weird reacting to somebody reacting. I don't know if I did. I don't know what I was doing. I tried the whole logging out of the website incognito, keeping it open, logging back in, verifying files, all the jazz. It doesn't work. I'm all done for the day. I'm probably gonna try this again tomorrow. I think I will be looking at. Ow! Gosh, dang it, my elbow. I'm probably going to be looking to try to get into game tomorrow, just to kind of get some footage for our new players guide coming out this week, and to try and prepare for some of the regular week streams coming up in the next few days. Other than that, though, you probably won't see me until Monday. Keep an eye out for the monthly report video, either coming out tomorrow or on Monday, as well as the new podcast with Dead Leader coming out, talking about Salvage and that new edition in 3.18. After that, we'll be getting back to normal with the video about engineering. And towards the end of the month, I think I'm going to do a public release of an exclusive video about the Montreal team and the work they've been doing. Not confirmed yet, but that is an idea that I'm playing around with. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. Had a lot of fun. Meyer is streaming Star Citizen, so I'm definitely going to throw the raid over to him on Twitch. I have not seen him on Star Citizen in a while. And on YouTube, is anybody doing anything? Starstreams is on YouTube, so I'm going to send you all over to Starstreams as well. If you're over there, the double raid. Love it when a double raid works out. Thanks for chilling, guys. Thanks for chilling and talking. We did go over through a lot of interesting info today. Scorpius stuff, the engineering stuff. It was cool. I had a good time chatting and talking, hanging out. It was good. It's been a weekend, so it was nice to get to hang out with y'all and kick back and just have a good talk for a bit. Thanks for joining me, folks. Hope y'all have a great weekend. I hope to see you on Monday for some more chatting and maybe some playing Star Citizen. Wonderful folks, good people, good night, good morning, good afternoon. Much love. Catch you later.